Okay, I'm live. Can anybody hear me? Is anyone even in the chat? Let's check. Starting a few minutes early. Want to make sure I got all the kinks worked out before we start. Hello, David. Welcome aboard. How you doing this fine Saturday evening? We are Pro Wrestling. Welcome aboard. Young Stacks, welcome, welcome. I'm doing great. Today's my cheat day, so I was able to have pancakes for dinner. It was so I'm feeling pretty good right now. Didn't have to exercise today, and I got to eat junk. It was great. Yeah, right? Absolutely. Okay, so before we get started with Clash of the Champions and Saturday night's main event and all that stuff, I do want to make it known that there's been a lot of news coming out this week, mainly the news that ROH and New Japan sold out Madison Square Garden to the surprise of everyone, myself included. There was also a bunch of other little news headlines that I wanted to talk about. Apparently, I just got hit with this. Deluxe Man just messaged me on Twitter right before I turned the stream on. Apparently, Asuka has walked out of the WWE, which is kind of surprising, although not really considering how she's been booked. But apparently, she was having disagreements over how she was booked, and she walked out of the company. So, yeah, that'll be very interesting. But I'm not going to go into detail about a lot of those news and notes and all the other current events going on in pro wrestling right now, because I'm going to be doing that in a video that I'm filming for tomorrow. So you'll be getting that video tomorrow. Well, you'll be getting basically basic news and notes, current events, catch up, that type of stuff. So I might comment on ROH and New Japan and various other things on the stream, but you'll be getting the brunt of the news updates tomorrow, if that makes any sense. So hopefully you all can wait until then. And also, got a few other videos planned for the week. I'm going to be doing a massive preview video that will include NXT TakeOver, SummerSlam, and All In, which is taking place on September 1st. Hello there, Elijah. Welcome to the stream. So I'm going to be previewing and doing predictions of all the matches for all three of those shows. SummerSlam is going to be a little tricky because I have not been keeping up with the main roster show at all. I sit here and I say the show is bad, but I really can't because A, I haven't watched it, and B, I haven't even been reading the results. So I honestly couldn't tell you what's been going on Raw or SmackDown right now. Peltzer, welcome to the stream. How you doing, man? All right. Okay, so yeah, you'll be getting my preview and predictions video for all three of those shows. That'll be coming next week. I also have another What Went Wrong that's SummerSlam related and has a little twist to it. That one will be coming sometime next week. And I also have my next top 10 of the month. That'll be coming next week. And yes, it will be SummerSlam related. So got a few videos coming out from me over the next few days. You guys are going to get sick of me. And obviously next weekend I'll be doing another stream. I also want to let you guys know that the weekend of, not this next weekend, not the next weekend, but the one after that, I'm going to be out of town in Atlantic City for a bachelor party. So there's not going to be a stream that weekend. I'll try and do one on the Thursday before I leave. But if that doesn't happen, there just won't be a stream that weekend. So I'm just letting you guys know in advance. All right. He's fat. It never does get old. I just saw Okada versus Tanahashi this morning. Can you explain how the G1 works to me? I haven't caught up on the G1. I haven't watched any of the shows that took place in August, so I don't know how the Okada-Tanahashi match went. How the G1 works, it's got all their competitors separated into two blocks, the A block and the B block. And all the guys in the A block will go round robin style and face everybody on the block. If everybody within the A block, and once everybody has wrestled everybody, the one with the most victories and the most points will be the winner of the A block, and it's exactly the same for the B block. And then for the finals, you get the winner of the A block versus the winner of the B block. It's really not that complicated once you like kind of dive into it and you go, okay, you know, it's just about wrestling everybody within your group. And okay, the Asuka story was made up. Mike Johnson said it was not true. Okay. Mike Johnson or whoever leaked that story should know that April Fool's was 4 months ago. So, okay, good to know that that story is not true. So I will not be talking about that tomorrow. Fernando Estrada, cool. A stream in the afternoon I can catch. Yeah, happy to watch your back there, man. Okay, but yeah, that's basically how the G1 works. And I'm going to be getting caught up on the G1 shows over the next couple of weeks. But what else? I think I can just dive into the... Oh, no problem, man. I think I can just dive into the shows that I watched this week. I didn't watch 205 Live this week because I just don't have... I'm getting to where it's like, I think the Buddy Murphy-Mustafa Ali match was an exception and not the rule. And 205 Live is just kind of... Again, mechanically, structurally, it's fine. The show just has no passion. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that they were filming the show right after SmackDown. I think that's instead of before SmackDown or as part of NXT or something like that, where they're more guaranteed to have a livelier crowd. It just kind of feels like it's a bunch of people that just kind of want to go home. So the show just doesn't have much life to it. So I didn't watch it this week. I did watch NXT and Lucha Underground. I actually got to watch Lucha Underground the night of the show for once. According to Vince, 205 Live is the most exciting hour in television. Okay. Dragon Rider, welcome aboard. You going to G1 Supercard? I am not. They were sold out before I could get tickets. Might hit up StubHub. I'm talking about it with some friends of mine. We're thinking about just knocking up StubHub and seeing what we can do there. But for right now, I'm not going. I did not expect the show to sell out that quickly. But again, good for Ring of Honor and good for New Japan. I think that's awesome that they were able to do that. But yeah, I did watch Lucha Underground the night of the show for once. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun show. We're still getting the sacrifices to the gods, which are great. I can't wait to see what kind of payoff they do with Matanza, like killing all these people. We got the first Gift of the Gods championship title match between new champion El Dragon Azteca Jr. and Mari Posa. Short but sweet match. We had a fun tag match between Ivelisse and Exolicious, who really reminds me of Lamar Luttrell from the Revenge of the Nerds movies. They went up against Jack Evans and Joey Ryan in a really fun match. Nice mix of characters. Really enjoyable. Cheapest ticket on StubHub is $113. Jesus Christ. Who says there's no market for wrestling outside of WWE? My God. But then we got the main event stuff, which was the Worldwide Underground versus the Reptile Tribe. If the Reptile Tribe wins, Johnny Mundo has to join them. If Johnny Mundo and the Worldwide Underground win, then Cobra Moon will grant Mundo one wish. I mean, it's amazing how much better the Indies and New Japan are than WWE these days. I mean, yeah. Yeah, right? But anyway, I really like this main event because it was just craziness after craziness after craziness. It just kept getting crazier. So Vibora was murdered last week by Mundo and Taya. He was beheaded, which really makes me sad because I like the Luchasaurus a lot. And I was kind of like, no, don't kill Vibora. He's one of my like weirdo sidebar favorites. Yeah, so to replace him, Cobra Moon revealed that she resurrected and has brainwashed Jeremiah Crane, who is now in the Reptile Tribe as Jeremiah Snake. So, okay, so Jeremiah Crane, this fucking lunatic, has now joined the Reptile Tribe. And then Johnny Mundo one-ups her by saying, I'm going to bench Ricky Mundo, and taking his place will be Aerostar. So we got the Lucha Underground return of Aerostar, Drago's old best friend, who's been trying to free Drago from Cobra Moon's clutches. So a lot of story points coming to a head here in this match. The match was fun and exciting, and it ended with Worldwide Underground getting the win. And Mundo, in a rare act of selflessness, gave his one wish to Aerostar, who wished that Drago would be set free. And then Aerostar and Drago go off into the sunset to let that story develop and do whatever they're doing. Taya seemed upset that Mundo gave away his wish. What she wanted the wish to be, I don't know. But, yes, Callahan went from being a crane to a snake. Yes. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be an anti-WWE thing that they sold out MSG. I'm just proud of other companies because that's what wrestling has been missing. It's like, I don't consider myself an anti-WWE guy. I'm getting ready to watch shows on the WWE network that I subscribe to. I just don't like their main roster shows, which is why I don't watch them. But it's like, ever since ECW went away and ever since WCW went away, you just want more options out there, and you want those options to be viable. So it's just really good news that ROH and New Japan were able to accomplish this. And I think it's going to be a really exciting and fun show, especially since they're going up against NXT TakeOver, which I was worried about. I thought that was going to make it harder for them to sell tickets. Turns out that not the case at all. So good for them. Absolutely good for them. I think it's great. Is that what Taya was wishing for? I don't know. But anyway, we don't know what Taya really wanted to wish for. But it doesn't matter because right after it was over, Johnny Mundo proposed to Taya, and they will be getting married in the first Lucha Underground wedding. So that was a lot of fun. But Ricky Mundo, who's not happy about being benched and has his creepy talking doll. Speaking of the network, they added new Coliseum home videos this past week. I saw one that they added on Bruno Sammartino, and I watched that. Have they added any other ones? But anyway, I thought Lucha Underground was a really solid show this week. I love Ricky Mundo and the creepy doll. My only real knock on the show right now is that they keep killing all my favorite characters. Jesus Christ, stop killing all the characters. I mean, between the sacrifice to the gods, the murders within the reptile tribe, Masquerita Sagrada getting murdered by Paul London. I mean, the Rabbit Tribe lost Mala Suerte this week, which makes me sad because I like the Rabbit Tribe. They're one of my favorite dumb things in wrestling. And it's just... God, they're killing everybody. Stop killing everybody. It's making me sad. They're getting to like Game of Thrones levels of violence here. I was just reflecting on the higher power angle. It was horrible. I mean, they got a lot of mileage out of who it is and revealing the mystery. And I think the reveal that it was Vince, they kind of knew that was going to disappoint people. So they had the added surprise of Austin being the CEO, which that was a nice little topper to it, I thought. Yeah, 95 heel Shawn Michaels was pretty good. Like 90s heel Shawn Michaels was pretty good. But anyway, really enjoyed Lucha Underground this week. I thought it was great. Gets a thumbs up from me. NXT, another solid show. Mostly it was a bunch of matches of people. I don't want to say it's people having squash matches, but people having like tune-up matches and debut matches. Like Nikki Cross had a match. And who's that big guy that debuted this week on NXT? Shane something, I forget his name, but he debuted and seemed to get over pretty well. So, okay, both in their prime, HBK versus Tanahashi, who wins? Well, if it's in America, HBK. If it's in Japan, Tanahashi. That's probably how it would be, if I had to guess. Although, I don't know, like, it would, HBK, Keith Lee, that's who it was. Okay, thank you. Keith Lee. So he had his debut, and that was impressive. And we also had the main event to TakeOver set up, which was officially announced as Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black in a three-way for the NXT title. Unfortunately, Aleister Black got injured, and it has now been changed to Johnny Gargano versus the champion, Tommaso Ciampa, in a last man standing match for the title, which is very good. I'm happy about that. I think that'll be a really good match. I was just kind of hoping for this weird scenario where they do the triple threat match and Aleister Black wins. So you look at the Gargano and Ciampa series, they would be 1-1-1 between themselves. So they'd have to have another match to kind of offset the balance. So I guess they're just going to have to do that match now. But yeah, I think that if you can't get the triple threat, I think that match will be very good. Is Black kayfabe hurt or actually hurt? He is actually hurt. He'll be out for 4 months. Yep. Most unfortunate, but, it is what it is. And like I said, if they have Ciampa and Gargano to fall back on, that's not the worst thing. So, I enjoyed NXT this week. Thought that was a solid show as well. I also thought that Impact Wrestling had a really solid show this week. I thought they had a couple of really good matches, mainly Pentagon versus Matt Sydal. And for the Impact title, they had Austin Aries versus the now psychotic, deranged lunatic Eddie Edwards in a title match where Killer Cross helped Austin Aries get the win. And it looks like Killer Cross is going to be Austin Aries heavy, a la Diesel and Shawn Michaels. We'll see where that goes. We also got some more build-up in the LAX OG storyline. And they seem to be setting up a wild street fight that happens with no crowd, not in an arena. They're just going to meet up somewhere and beat the shit out of each other. So it's, again, Impact, they're going along pretty well for the most part. Tessa Blanchard and Alicia Edwards, I thought, had a good match. Tessa continues to impress. I think she's great. It's, Impact continues to be a surprisingly solid show. After all the years of garbage, they finally kind of righted the ship and became solid. So good for them. And the episode of ROH, I saw this week that Pentagon and Phoenix might be WWE bound. That would hurt me because, I don't like the sound of that because I don't think WWE would know how to use them properly because they don't speak English. And I think that would be a problem. But anyway, we'll see if that happens. I sincerely hope not, but we'll see. I saw Ring of Honor this week, and the episode I saw had a pretty good main event where it was 3-3-man teams, the Hung Bucks, Adam Page, and the Young Bucks taking on SoCal Uncensored, taking on Los Ingorbonables de Japón. Really good main event, action-packed, spot-festy as hell, but a lot of fun to watch. Everything else on the show was kind of meh. You got Chris Sabin versus Silas Young. Why did his name blank on me? I like him. You would think I'd know who he was. They had a match that was okay, and it gave Chris Sabin #1 contendership to ROH TV title. That was fine. There was also Hurricane Helms going up against the villain Marty Scurll, which Helms kind of showed his age a little bit and didn't look like he was in the best shape, but the match was okay, and at least Marty went over. So the show was fine. I liked the main event, but not one of the more memorable episodes of Ring of Honor television. Actually, at this point, I'm just kind of biding my time until All In. That's the thing I'm really focusing all my energies and attention on. So those are all the shows I watched this week. Just want to come in here, give my reviews of those. But with that said, let's get into Clash of the Champions. We're going to start with this. What the hell? Why is my Roku acting up? Come on, Roku. Don't be a dick. Yeah, but I think Lucha Underground lets their guys do other shows. That's why they're both on Impact right now. Yes, All In will be broadcast online. I'm super excited about that. That is going to be great. Here we go. Okay, we're going to go. If you're following along on the network, we're going to go to Vault. Whoa, okay, let me start over. You're going to go to Shows, then Vault, Clash of the Champions. We're going to go to 1993. It'll be the first Clash of 93, the January edition. 93, coming off the heels of a really strong year of clashes in 92. We'll see if 93 is able to follow suit. There are some very memorable moments that happened in 1993 for the Clash of the Champions. Very memorable moments. I have a second ticket to G1 Supercard if you want it. Let me see where I'll put a pin in that. We'll see where we are with my friends and what they want to do. We might end up getting tickets on StubHub, but I appreciate the offer. Thanks. I won't watch All In because I don't know if I have enough space on my phone to download Fight TV. Get a Roku, man. You can watch it on your TV. Oh, this is going to be, 93, the year you were born. God, I feel old. I was like 8 years old at this point. I was 7 going on 8 in January 93. But let me go get some water real quick. I'll be right back. Very shocking moments in 93, yes. You could say that WCW shocked the world. I mean, WCW, they are the masters of shocking people, you could say. All In is also on pay-per-view for those who can't get the Fight TV app. Well, there you go. Even better. Okay. All right. Let me just send out a quick message, and we'll get this started. I still can't believe that Brock doesn't watch Raw. I can. I can totally believe that. Because I don't think Brock gives a shit. Okay. So here we are. Clash of the Champions 22. Clash of the Champions 22 features the return of the Thundercage. Shane Douglas and Ricky Steamboat defend the Unified World Tag Team titles. Now, you might be wondering, what is the Thundercage? Basically, like very basic, bare bones explanation for what the Thundercage is. It is like the precursor to Hell in a Cell in a way. WCW's version of that. It never really caught on the way Hell in a Cell did because Hell in a Cell started with its first match was one of the best matches of all time. Honestly, on my short list for greatest match I've ever seen. And the second match was like one of the most shocking things that ever happened in professional wrestling. So Hell in a Cell's legacy was pretty much ironed out pretty early on. Thundercage never really had that match to really cement it as one of the big gimmick matches in pro wrestling. Brock doesn't watch anything, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. Who made WCW do Thunder? Was it TBS or Ted Turner? I think TBS. Because I don't think Ted Turner would have directly demanded that. Better comparison is the old Memphis Cage. Yes, that's also true. The old Memphis Cage. But I guess you could say like Hell in a Cell kind of has its origins and its roots in the old Memphis Cage as well. Yeah, I'm picturing Brock just sitting there in front of his computer looking at his bank statements. Just like, oh, look at all the money I'm making. Anyway, we're going to get started. If you're following along on the network, we're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clash of the Champions 22. I agree with you that the Attitude Era ended with the Austin heel turn at Mania 17. Where does the Ruthless Aggression Era start? The Thundercage. That was a cool graphic. But anyway, the Ruthless Aggression Era, I would say probably with the start of the either the start of the brand split or when Austin walked out, or probably when Vince cut that promo in the ring where he basically blamed the roster for the decreasing ratings. Because that was when the ratings were going down. And it felt like Vince was blaming the roster. Today is also the anniversary of the 1991 G1 Climax Finals. Chono won it. Oh, man. The Mecca in Milwaukee. Hi, Bill Watts. Still making stupid decisions? The coolest thing involving the Thundercage was the commercial for Super Bowl IV featuring Vader. I've not seen that. Maybe it'll pop up on one of the clashes. No, I don't think it will, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I'll look it up on YouTube later. I'm up for cool Vader material.
There was a young guy just starting, Ric Flair, a young tag team that dominated the world, Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch. What an exciting place. It's so great to be here.
It's the home of many great American institutions, including Harley-Davidson. Tonight, it's the home of Thundercage, and everybody looking forward to this big event.
They sure are, and I'm looking forward to it. And Tony, there's a lot of...
Yeah, I just got confirmation that the Asuka story was false. Okay.
Abscess, they've done surgery, he's doing well. I can't tell you how bad he wanted to be here, but he's unable to be here. However, we will have a replacement in the arm wrestling. Vinny Vegas will arm wrestle Tony Adams.
We're getting arm wrestling, guys. We're getting arm wrestling.
WCW's main event, the
Arm wrestling. Isn't that fun? Isn't that exciting? A sport so exciting that it got its own movie. A Sylvester Stallone project, no less. Apparently, there was a news story that Asuka walked out of the WWE, but it's turned out to be false. Did you ever watch Mucha Lucha? No, I did not. I'm not even entirely sure what that is. Would you rather have Reigns beat Lesnar at SummerSlam, or would you have Brock retain? I'd have Reigns win at this point and just get it over with. I'd probably have Strowman cash in just to give us something, but...
Sure is. I do understand that in the back in the interview area, Larry's
We've spent way too much time focusing on Bill Watts.
back to Larry along with Eric Watts right now. Larry?
GoldenEye, Thunderball, and You Only Live Twice were on recently. Do you like those? Those are some of my favorite Bond movies, actually. I think Thunderball is one of the best. GoldenEye was the first one I ever saw. It might be my favorite. And You Only Live Twice. Really good one.
False accusations. These are false charges. And my father, due to his position, he had to make a decision. That's a suspension. But I know the truth will be told. And being a professional...
Mucha Lucha was an old cartoon about luchadors. It was dumb and wacky. Okay, I never watched it. Don't know anything about it.
WCW, and I'm going to be able to make sure for my next opponent, I know what's coming at me.
Had they given Reigns the belt at 31, we wouldn't be here doing Reigns and Lesnar for the 4th time, right?
All right, Larry, Bill, you heard
The GoldenEye video game was that was like the party game when I was in middle school. Like, everybody played GoldenEye.
We're still going to have Cactus Jack one-on-one against Johnny B. Bad here tonight.
Johnny Bad is one of the upcoming young stars we're excited about. There's going to be a lot of interesting things happening here in 1993, and he will get tested by a wily leopard Cactus Jack. Let's hook him up.
All right, let's
Go away, Watts. You're boring me.
play-by-play story. Just
Yay!
and Jim Ross.
GoldenEye or Mario Party? I like GoldenEye more.
All right, Tony.
Mario Party was too... There was way too much fuckery going on, like tomfoolery and fucking the game, like fucking messing with you. And that started so many fights. I think GoldenEye, it was more straightforward. So even if guys would lose, they wouldn't get like super, super passionate about it. But the Mario Party, there were things where the game would just flip it on a dime and you'd get royally fucked out of nowhere. And I saw so many people get mad at that. So just because GoldenEye started less fights, I'm going to say GoldenEye.
That will be here on this broadcast tonight. But right now, let's
Go away, Watts. You're killing WCW. Metroid. You know, I've never played the original Metroid. I played Super Metroid, which is one of my favorite games of all time. Cactus Jack. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is the show where they start playing with a Cactus Jack face turn.
Cactus Jack originally scheduled to take on Eric Watts in a bounty match. Due to Watts' suspension, Cactus Jack will meet Johnny B. Bad. And in just a few moments, Eric Capetta will have the introduction of one of WCW's most flamboyant...
Play Metroid Zero Mission. It's a remake of the first Metroid and is much better. All right, cool. Yeah, Super Metroid's fucking great. I love that game. And it's so amazing to me, like, how, like, simple changes make the game so much better. Like, the original Metroid, from what I've been told, doesn't have a map. Super Metroid gives you a map. And it's like, oh my god, this makes the game so much better. Johnny B. Bad. Every time I see him, I think of Little Richard. And every time I think of Little Richard, I think of that meatball song. And I get hungry for pasta and meatballs. Samus Returns for 3DS is very good. I'll have to check that out. I do have a 3DS. Marco Mero. Marco Mero. Yeah, these two got into a fight at Starrcade 92. That was the Lethal Lottery and the Battle Bowl where they were drawn as partners together. They didn't get along. How would you book the feud in Bell to Bell, Hogan versus Austin? Oh God, that's a match I would handle with the utmost amount of care because that is like the biggest match that you could do. Yeah. Did you ever play the Crash Bandicoot games? I did. I enjoyed them. I thought they were good. I like the Crash Bandicoot games. They were still kind of like, because it was around that time that game came out, that 3D was becoming the big thing, and Crash Bandicoot had a 3D, it was 3D-ish, but it wasn't quite like free range like Mario 64 was, for example, and it still kind of had that old school platformer feel to it without, while also looking like a step forward graphically and how it looks and everything, so. What is the worst video game you've ever played beginning to end? God. Puss in Boots on NES. It was so funny because as a kid, I liked that game. And I remember like the Toei Animation Puss in Boots movies when I was a kid, especially the first one. And I remember liking the NES game. I played it a few years ago, and that game is so bad. Like, it's ludicrously bad. And I can't believe I ever liked it as a kid. The funniest thing about it, it's easy as hell because all you have to do is walk right, and you pretty much avoid all the enemies. And it's easy as hell to play, but goddamn, it looks unfinished. Diddy Kong Racing, I remember having a lot of fun with that game. We used to make fun of all the characters because they had goofy voices. I remember the turtle, Tip Top. When you would pick him, he would say, "Hi, I'm Tip Top," but the way the sound quality wasn't that great, and it sounded like, "Hey, I can't talk." So we used to call him, "Oh, hey, look at him, he can't talk. Haha, loser, can't talk." And Tipsy's like, Tipsy. And this really squeaky voice, like, she's drunk. I'm Banjo. Whoa. And Whizpig is one of the weirdest villains in any video game I've ever played. Like, who the hell came up with that? Yeah, so you have to race a giant King Kong-sized pig. That's a natural thing for a racing game. Did you ever play Ratchet and Crank? No. Ratchet and Clank. Sorry, I don't know why I said Crank. But no, either way, no, I never played it. Do you agree that certain matches don't need a story or angle? Not every match needs a story and angle, but there needs to be context for these matches meaning something. There has to be an understanding that whoever wins moves up. Oh! Johnny B. Bad went for everything and got nothing. There's Cactus. 1, 2, 3. Cactus gets a quick win. High risk move. Really cost Johnny B. Bad there.
Absolutely, and I've talked about it before, is if you're going to go up to that top rope and you're going to jump off.
Timber is my favorite character. He is vastly underrated in the middleweight class of racers. Which one was Timber? Oh, he was the Tiger, right? He was the Tiger, yeah. Okay. Joe versus Styles has to be good. Well, I mean, we'll see at SummerSlam, I guess. I feel like I've already seen that match like 8,000 times, so I'm just not... Even the change of setting, I'm like, eh. I've heard some people say that Joe Angle didn't need an angle at first for their first match. I disagree. That match is such a huge match and was for TNA that it's like, dude, that's the match you do. Now, where they fucked up was doing it 1 month out. I would have saved it for a year. Meta Knight in Super Smash Brawl, your opinion. He was actually one of my go-tos in that version. I like the GameCube. GameCube was my system of choice during that time because I was spending my own money on video games at that point. And GameCube was the cheapest, and it had some good games, so I was fine with it. I didn't need a PS2 or an Xbox. God, I want to call that wrestling hotline. When would be the earliest you do Joe Angle 1? I would have saved it for Bound for Glory, 2007. What the hell? What? What the fuck? Airball! Yeah, you think this is the 90s? You think that we're in the early 90s? Is he gonna, like...
Ain't you kids supposed to be in school?
No, man, we go.
I never played Paper Mario. I always wanted to, but I just never got around to it.
Tell you what, I'll take you guys to school.
Are we gonna ride this on the thing?
Nuh-uh.
We're gonna ride?
Tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna step.
Oh my god. It's like the 90s just vomited all over my TV screen. Oh my god. This is so, like, it's terrible, but in the best way. Like, this is hilarious. Who else is watching this? Like, am I going insane? Is this not actually happening? Did you hear what Suzuki said in a recent video about his favorite things? No, I didn't. Scorpio! God, that's going to be stuck in my head now. God damn. I mean, it's better than PN News. We can agree on that. And we're in that weird period in the 90s where it was like still kind of like the 80s, but the 80s just didn't quite want to die, and it was on life support, and everything became brightly colored. Suzuki said his favorite things are beating people up and getting beat up. It is better than Poop Nugget. The Poop Nugget News. Too Cold Scorpio. I did like Too Cold Scorpio. I remember really liking him when I was a kid. Anything is better than PN News. Is the Shockmaster better than PN? Actually, you know what? I would say Shockmaster is better than PN News because at least Shockmaster was funny. Scotty Flamingo.
Jim Ross and Jesse the Body Ventura back with you here live on TBS. Too Cold Scorpio and Scotty Flamingo set to go one-on-one. And this certainly features...
Yeah, not quite Raven yet, but still, in the, still classified as a bird.
Cold Scorpio against one man that has unlimited self-confidence in Scotty Flamingo's yes.
Oh, it's going to be a battle, Jim. You know, I'll tell you what, Scorpio's hit WCW more dynamically than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, what a following this guy.
God, it's like we're seeing like proto ECW almost, because it's like an early version of Too Cold Scorpio, an early version of Raven. He's got a tattered jacket. He's kind of working in some of the grunge elements into his look. He's not Raven yet, but you can see the steps towards the evolution. What were your favorite ECW feuds? Probably Raven and Dreamer and Raven and Sandman. Those were probably my favorites. Just because it was just Raven being great. Like, he was the Jake Roberts of ECW.
You got to keep your eye on this Scorpio. His offense comes from many, many different positions.
Did you see on Raw that Roman went to high-five a girl in the crowd? She pulled her hand away. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. All Flamingo needs is a leather jacket and denim shorts. He needs denim shorts. You can borrow my pair. Oh, look at the stylish shorts. Raven versus Jake Roberts feud, both in their primes. Here's the thing. The promos would have been amazing. I don't think the match would have ever been that good because they're too similar to each other.
All the way outside goes Scotty Flamingo Scorpio.
Oh, he got caught.
Oh!
I thought for a minute Flamingo had done his homework because Scorpio loves to come along with a big chop. He loves to come off that apron on his opponents. And
Yeah, battle. They'll have a DDT match.
open for the second try.
Whoever hits the DDT first wins.
Good move by Flamingo. Using the flat of the foot there a couple of times.
Oh, a running drop kick from Flamingo.
Too cold Scorpio.
I'm not used to seeing Raven leave his feet this often.
I told you this was going to be a good matchup, but watch Flamingo. Whoa!
Flamingo up and over with a high cross body.
Gobbledygooker for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, sure, why not?
Seeing somebody coming at him with aerial
Gobbledygooker or Shockmaster? Wait, which one was worse? Do you still believe in faces and heels in wrestling today? Yeah, absolutely. The fans still do. They'll you know, they still cheer for guys and boo guys. James Jackson, welcome to the stream. What have you missed? The first match was Cactus Jack versus Johnny B. Bad, with Cactus getting a quick win. And we're in the second match right now, which is Scotty Flamingo versus Too Cold Scorpio. And that's literally all you've missed. Which is worse, Gobbledygooker or Shockmaster? I'd say Gobbledygooker is worse, but Shockmaster was, I guess, more damaging because they were clearly putting a lot more into that character. Like, he was going to be a main event character, working with Sting and that type of, and being in a War Games match and everything. And then that happened, and like, oh dear Lord.
Flamingo's favor is you can blatantly choke, but only for a 4 count. You better not let it get to 5. There he goes with the reverse chin lock, and you get back.
Do you agree that one match can ruin or save a pay-per-view?
That forearm underneath and turn it into a choke.
I don't think one match can ruin it. I think one match can elevate a bad show, and at least depending on how good the match is and where the match is placed, it could save it and make it a really good show, or at least end on a really high note where people think they saw a really good show. But could one match kill a pay-per-view? I don't think so. Oh, look at that diving splash. Was that Flair for the Gold where Shockmaster debuted on a Clash? Yes. Later this year, 93. Roll up. No, Flamingo. There's a Raven-style clothesline there. It's a good little match here. Oh, jumping super kick. Oh. Fancy spinning leg drop. What's he going for? 450. 1, 2, 3. Too Cold wins it.
He defines high-risk offense. Takes a lot of chances, Jess.
And not only that, he can dance. Here's the first one.
I mean, Too Cold Scorpio is great. He's not as good as Flash Funk, though. Now, that guy, Flash Funk, there was a guy that should have been WWE champion. I couldn't say that with a straight face. What if that match is a WrestleMania or a Wrestle Kingdom main event? Well, I mean, you look at Lesnar and Reigns from this year's WrestleMania. Match was fucking terrible. I didn't think it ruined the show, though. Like, there was enough good stuff on the show where I was like, I enjoyed it overall, but that main event was bullshit. Super Bowl III update Saturday at 6:05 p.m. on WCW Saturday night. We should watch that.
Welcome back to Milwaukee and Clash of the Champions in not too long.
Yeah, video games getting glitched out. It's not funny if you're playing the game. Watching other people's video games, glitch out. That's funny, but not when it happens to you. How do you react to people who honestly think that wrestling is real? I don't know how to react to it. I'm like, but why do you think it's real? But how? If the person is like clearly has like some kind of like special needs, shall we say, I'm more willing to kind of go along with it. But if you're like a seemingly functioning human being that still thinks it's real, I don't really know how to deal with that. I guess if a kid thinks it's real too, I don't mind like going along with it. But how many Saturday nights do they have on the network? How would you book the ending of WrestleMania 17? If you're gonna do the Austin heel turn, I would keep it the same, and then the next night turn Triple H face. But my inclination would have been to just not turn Austin heel, just have Austin win the belt, and maybe have like his next challenger like. I like Harley Race's voice.
Right here in this ring tonight, I'm gonna be walking around this ringside, and we're gonna see what's
all of the 92 episodes of Saturday Night and the first one of 93. That's it. I mean, Saturday Night was like their premier show. You would think they'd include more.
Two of WCW's toughest competitors. Here's the explosion that ensued.
Paul Orndorff and Cactus Jack.
Raised, pushing Cactus Jack back in the ring. What a battle we have had here. Cactus raking the eye.
FT Legend, Austin can't be faced forever. Yeah, but at that point, he was still like the most over face in the world. Oh, Cactus just clothesline Harley Race. This is the beginnings of the Vader Cactus Jack feud. When I was told that wrestling was fake at age 10, I felt dumb. Honestly, when I was a kid, it was on, I used to watch Superstars, and it would come on right after like Fox Kids and the cartoon block. So I just kind of grouped it in with the cartoon, so I just kind of always knew it was not real.
He must have been watching on the monitor. And when Race was manhandled, here comes the world's heavyweight champion. Hammering away at Cactus Jack.
Yeah, Austin, when they turned him heel, he didn't feel like the same character anymore. Like, which would be fine if it were like a Hollywood Hogan situation, but everyone still likes Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it just felt like, what the fuck are they doing? Good news, SummerSlam is expected to go past midnight. Joy of joys. Austin could punt a puppy into the crowd and people would think the puppy deserved it. Yeah. God, this is a brutal beatdown on Cactus. Vader! Uh-oh.
After their brutal triple team of Cactus Jack, Race, Vader, and New Thunder.
What's your favorite lightsaber battle? Luke and Vader from Empire Strikes Back.
But so did Cactus Jack.
It's atmospheric, it's great, it's well shot, it's well performed by all players involved. Oh, Cactus Jack with a shovel. You will not bury me, I'll bury you first. And the reveal of Luke's parentage, shall we say, is the biggest moment in the history of Star Wars. So yeah, Luke and Vader, greatest lightsaber battle.
Mr. Wonderful, Harley Race, you made one.
So I'm looking back. FT Legend. How would fans react now if Daniel Bryan came back and took out like 20 to 30 wrestlers with the running knee like Austin did when he saved Team WWF? They'd probably lose their goddamn minds. Oh, yeah, some people don't know about Darth Vader. They don't know that yet. I'm getting all my stuff for this week's Vader 93 episode. There's a lot of material to work with. The Cactus Jack stuff would probably be the main focus. Also, the strap match with Sting. The Beach Blast. Like, it was him. What was that main event? It was him and Sid versus Sting and Bulldog, right? God, they're really pushing that Slam Jam album. Is that Will Smith rapping? That sounds like Will Smith rapping. Edmonton? Who do we know from Edmonton? Who is this Chris Benoit they speak of? And the potential Vader-Sid Starrcade match that turned into Vader Flair. Yes.
Very highly regarded international competitor.
You know, I've never had Bootios. They still sell like Bootios, don't they? And I'm a bit of a cereal nut. I'm surprised I've never like tried it out.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent from Marietta, Georgia, weighing 234 pounds.
Pat, are you an optimist about the Giants this season? I'm not expecting them to go to the playoffs or anything like that. Super Bowl, not even thinking about it. I'm confident that they'll be better than they were last year. So if we can get to like 7-9, 8-8, somewhere around there, I'll be happy. Imagine 1990s Benoit and a G1. Jesus. Yeah. God, Benoit looks so small here, too. Because that was one of the things about, you know, the whole steroid controversy and everything. Like, in WWE, he looked like a raging hard-on. It's like, why is he so buff? And not that he doesn't look athletic here. He looks athletic, but he doesn't look as big. How cringe is New Day? I liked them early on. I don't know what they're like now. I haven't watched the show. Golden Puff and Frosted Flakes are the best. Actually, since I've been dieting, I've been eating a lot of like bland, like oat-based cereals and Special K. My favorite one is Cracklin' Oat Bran from Post. I think it's from Post. It's like my sister calls it horse food because it looks like something you would feed to a horse. Oh, this is a nice little athletic contest here. Armstrong with a drop kick and an arm drag. They're flying all over the place. How do you feel about WWE keeping wrestlers babyface for PR reasons? I think that's lame, and it's kind of, I guess that's the pitfall of being a publicly traded company, but it's like, that's your reason to avoid like a PR mishap? It's like, whatever. Stop dieting. Dude, I'm in the best fucking shape I've been in my entire life. Dieting has gone very well for me. I don't regret it at all. Nip up by Benoit. Takes Armstrong down. Kick up by Armstrong. Drop kick. Arm drag by Armstrong again. Keeps Benoit grounded.
Well, there was that tag tournament where I got my first chance to see Chris Benoit. And you can see right there.
Patrick, I thought PN News was your favorite wrestler. Yeah, and I thought Monday was my favorite day of the week, too.
One of them's going up, one of them's going down.
How would you end a Godzilla versus Ghost Godzilla movie? Find some way for the Ghost Godzilla to, like, possess something. Like, I don't know what. Like possess something, and then Godzilla just blows that thing up or something. I don't know. So this match is the Wolverine versus the Road Cat. Yep. Patrick on that Brian Cage diet. I don't look like Brian Cage. No. How does an NHL team win a conference if you include playoffs? Win the most games. Patrick, you've been going to the gym? Yeah, I've been working out. Yep. This match is vacant. No, it's not vacant. Armstrong's just wrestling his shadow. The Shadow Man.
Notice how Armstrong flattened himself out when he got that armbar, extends that rear leg.
Actually, it's weird. Armstrong kind of looks like Kenny Omega a little bit. In the face and the hair a little bit.
Explosive offensive competitors. They like to take chances offensively. But right now, it's Armstrong who's certainly keeping Benoit at bay, so to speak, in this grounded state. Benoit making his way back up.
A shadow of what? Of a man. A generic wrestler. That's his gimmick. He's just the Shadow.
Counter by Benoit, and
now they're trading hammerlocks.
And another reversal by Benoit into the hammerlock. Seen some good wrestling right here as well as the aerial stuff.
It's weird to have Jesse Ventura commentating a Chris Benoit match. It's really weird. It's like again, it's early 90s, so we're starting to introduce all the guys that would be, bigger names during the Monday Night Wars period. and the 80s are slowly being phased out. But there was this crossover period where you had a little bit of both.
About 3.5 or 4 years experience advantage on young Chris Benoit.
Thoughts on the Jericho-Benoit ladder match from Rumble 2001? I haven't seen it in years. I remember really liking it. I thought it was a great match. Do you have a favorite year of wrestling? Not off the top of my head.
Reversal there by Brad Armstrong.
Orton did mention being the youngest world champion on SmackDown.
Trying to take a page out of Armstrong's play.
Drop kick. Armstrong. Another arm drag. He's using the drop kicks and arm drags to his advantage.
Arm drag takedown.
Well, Brad Armstrong wasn't going to fall for a move that he just performed right there. Chris Benoit showed a little bit of inexperience at that point because, you know, Brad just got through pulling that one on him, and it's pretty tough to come back and try to get it on your opponent.
Why do people never say I'm glad I was a 70s kid? Were the 70s that bad? Well, I mean, they did have the gas shortage and a bunch of other – they were just coming out of the 60s, which was a very turbulent period. You know, the shadow of the Vietnam War and the Nixon scandal and various other things. So it wasn't a very happy time.
And Armstrong counters. Great leg strength by Brad Armstrong. And Benoit comes up with a kick right to the abdomen.
Well, I love this. Brad Armstrong definitely getting the advantage.
Although, oddly enough, like, in the 70s, that was arguably, like, the best decade for cinema. Like, in terms of quality movies that were coming out. Because it was like filmmakers were just allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted. It's the way it should be, damn it.
That's a steel cable up there.
That's called a half a slingshot suplex. You just leave the suplex off and slingshot him.
By any name, it certainly was effective. No doubt about that, as Armstrong is in a tough spot out there on the apron headbutt. And Benoit got that headbutt in.
Springboard. Oh, my God. He just springboarded, clotheslined Brad Armstrong off the apron, but he landed on a not padded floor outside the ring. That is not a fun landing.
Phenomenal move by Chris Benoit. Never quite seen the clothesline done in that manner. Catapulted himself all the way outside the ring. Caught Brad Armstrong, and now advantage in this.
Star Wars and Jaws came out in the 70s. Yes, they did. Enough said. What are your ideas for the new WWW? You'll see this week when it gets posted. Do you still enjoy Benoit matches? I do. It took me a long time to get to want to go back and watch Chris Benoit matches because there's just too much of a dark cloud over it. But Rocky is from 79, right? I believe Rocky was 76. And Rocky 2 was 79, if I'm not mistaken.
I like this Benoit. You know why I like him? He can wrestle, but if he's at any disadvantage at all, he'll do what it takes to win.
Bream Mummy, welcome aboard.
See it, the gleam in his eye.
I started watching WCW from 96, and it is really good. Much better than WWE today. There are a lot of things much better than WWE today. Thank Watts for no padding on the floor. I mean, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, why? Like, how does it make you a wuss if there's padding on the floor? Like, any, like, legitimate sport would have padding on the floor if there's chance for injury. Jericho said he still never watched a Benoit match after what happened. I can totally understand that. Van Halen's first album came out in 78. I love Van Halen. This shit's great.
Putting the chin and the knee, putting the pressure on those lower vertebrae. And I'll tell you, that's an area that a wrestler can end his career. Wow, big slam. Did you see Armstrong? He bounced a foot off the canvas.
What are some of the best movie remakes? John Carpenter's The Thing. Scarface, believe it or not, Scarface is a remake. Oh, misses with the diving headbutt. The Blob in the 80s had a really good remake. The Fly had a really good remake in the 80s. 80s is where all the good remakes happened. I don't know what to tell you.
We saw one match won on one simple mistake. Now we'll see if Benoit goes down from a big mistake off the top rope.
Do you know why wrestlers shouted more in their promos in the 90s and the 80s? It was because there was like this idea that you have to be big and loud and project yourself so that the people in the back row can hear you. And that was the idea. When that kind of became outdated with, oh, God! Full Nelson suplex, and Benoit gets the win. That was a really good match. I enjoyed that. Panama's a great song. I do love that. Fun fact, the New York State Athletic Commission mandates padding on the floor during pro wrestling events. I mean, yeah. The Al Pacino Scarface is a remake. Yes. Yes, it is. Scarface was a movie made in the 30s, and it was pretty much a generic gangster film, and it's fine. It's a solid movie, but it's not what the Pacino version is. My favorite Van Halen song, I like Panama. Yeah, I'd probably say Panama. That's probably my favorite. Cocaine also, yes, that's another reason wrestlers shouted a lot in the 80s. Cocaine had a lot to do with it. Oh, the Rock and Roll Express are back.
Read in magazines and newspapers around the country. One of the top tag teams in the history of TBS, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the legendary Rock and Roll Express, are back together again. They're currently the tag champions of Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling, good God.
Kentucky, Virginia, and West Virginia. Ironically, the team they defeated for the title is managed by Jim Cornette. The team of Dan Lane and Tom Pritchard, the Heavenly Bodies. WCW has arranged with Smoky Mountain Commissioner Bullet Bob Armstrong to sign the Rock and Roll Express to appear at Super Brawl 3 on Sunday, February 21st, marking the first time that tag champions from another United States organization will appear on a World Championship Wrestling pay-per-view.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Rock and Roll Express would also wrestle at Survivor Series that same year, 1993. What's your predictions on the New York Giants? If you ask me now, I'd probably say they'll go 6-10, 7-9, 8-8, somewhere in that range. The Smoky Mountain Wrestling invasion, yeah. What's a wrestler's team you wouldn't be ashamed to listen to in public? I wouldn't be ashamed to listen. I don't give a fuck what people think. I'm not ashamed of like anybody's. Like, dude, I'm a nerd. Deal with it.
You know, this might be an extra incentive also for Rock and Roll. I know they're only going to get one shot. They're going to make the most of it. Look at Morton. Do the lane.
And the Heavenly Bodies, they would also go to WWE. They wrestled the Steiner brothers a lot in WWE, which is weird. It's like, that's right. Like, fucking the Steiner brothers had a run in the WWE.
Get over there and close to home territory. And again, he reaches up to the wrong man, Dutch. He must be stunned already. Now, don't you think Jim Cornette is taking a tremendous risk by doing this and having his good arm drag take down again by Gibson? Wait a minute.
Yeah, we got Bob Caudle on commentary for this Smoky Mountain Wrestling footage.
Jimmy Cornette informing the referee, Mark Curtis, Cornette can blame no one but himself. He had no business up on the apron. Now, you got to blame Jim Cornette for that. Any of you kids out there that want to be wrestlers, watch these guys here because they do it like the textbook says to do it. Judge, I've been informed too that Brian
Giants were trending on Twitter the other day. Well, that's because it was the start of preseason and their game with the preseason game with the Browns happened. Tag team dream match: 90s Steiner brothers versus the Briscoes. Oh Jesus, that'd be insane. That was a lengthy clip not to show the finish of the match. Whatever.
A few weeks back, I had the chance to be the host of the Strongest Arm competition in WCW. Well,
oh, we're getting arm wrestling, guys.
Hammer. As we all know, the heavy metal man is entered.
When I get Fire Pro Wrestling, I'm going to create you and have you face Okada. Why would you do that to me? He's going to Rainmaker me into oblivion. Cornette tried to make Smoky Mountain Wrestling essentially WCW's developmental promotion. Not a bad idea, especially since WCW never really had like a strong developmental system. I know they had the power plant, but they didn't have like an OVW or what NXT is now or a performance center on the level of what WWE has now.
and he wants to be able to do it left-handed. Are you fine with going with either arm, Atlas?
What's wrong with him? I don't care if he's left-handed, right-handed, or center-handed.
There we go. He don't care. So Vegas gets a shot left-handed. Tony Atlas and Vinny Vegas.
Vinny Vegas not long for WCW.
Left-handed.
Will the Patriots win the Super Bowl? I sincerely hope not. This is so riveting, guys. It's arm wrestling. Just the best. It's the best thing. Arm wrestling is like the sport where it's like the only ones that really care are the people doing it. Like, spectators don't give a shit. I would like to believe they wouldn't give a shit. Will NXT create bigger stars than OVW did? Who knows? Depends on how they're booked on the main roster. Not unless the Patriots invoke their rematch clause from Super Bowl 52. That's a good line. You seem like a legit 6'1". I'm about 5'11", 6 feet. Oh my God, the look on Tony Atlas's face here. Arlen Jenkins, welcome to the stream. Dude, nobody likes the Patriots. Only New Englanders like the Patriots. They ain't America's team. I mean, they call Dallas Cowboys America's team, and most of the country hates them, so what are you going to do?
Now it's just Torres. We'll see who's got it now. Vinny Vegas getting down. He got him.
Vinny Vegas won an arm wrestling match.
Vinny, my man. You should have told me you were left-handed. You proved it tonight. The left hand is powerful.
NXT doesn't create stars, though. NXT is more of its own indie than developmental. I have a hard time labeling it as an indie when WWE manages it, pays for it, promotes it, puts it on their network. You know.
I'm gonna put you down. This is the strongest arm in fucking body.
Whoa, there you got it, Van Hammer. He says he's got the strongest left arm in WCW.
Dallas shouldn't be America's team when they have a 500 record since they've last won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I know. Like, they should be irrelevant. And they're always, like, dominating discussions from the media and everything else. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest on the Clash of the Champions.
Coward says that Dallas still gets the highest ratings across the NFL despite their less than stellar performances. Yeah, but they also get promoted more than everybody else. So it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, well, they get promoted like at the rate of like the Wrecking Crew. Who the hell? I don't remember these guys.
Making their first appearance on TBS here at the Clash of the Champions.
NXT is pretty much a super indie. They don't make stars. They just take and hoard them. Oh, geez. Yep. I mean, I've heard people accuse like WWE of doing that with NXT. It's like it's just they're an excuse to raid the indie pool, but you know.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents at a total combined weight of 470.
Did Kevin Owens reach his peak when he beat Cena in the first night? I don't know if he reached his peak, but it didn't do as much for him as it should have because then they just turned around and had Cena beat him like a million times. They had the 2 pay-per-view rematches where Cena beat him, and I'm like, okay. Z-Man and Johnny Gunn.
The Z-Man to take on this big, powerful combination of the Wrecking Crew. Speed and quickness. One would assume, Jess, of Z-Man and Gunn versus the power and strength.
Okay, their theme song sounded like it was going to break into Hungry Like the Wolf from Duran Duran.
Get their hair styled. They do the blow dryers and all that stuff before they head to the ring. And you can bet the Wrecking Crew.
The Wrecking Crew is Al Green and the Laurinaitis brother that is not Animal or Johnny. So another Laurinaitis.
I go
You know, he does kind of look like Animal a little bit. I kind of see a family resemblance there.
Rage starting it out here. There, inside headlock by the Z-Man as Rage tries to waistlock his way out of the situation.
I mean, they can't be as bad as the Master Blasters, right?
Man holding on tenaciously with a side headlock.
Good show of strength there by the Z-Man. Rage went to throw him off into the rope. Z-Man cinched the old side headlock down and he couldn't.
There's a third Laurinaitis, apparently.
Did it again. Ha! And Rage is saying he pulled my hair. Well, if he did that, he had to do it only right on top because there ain't none on the sides.
And that's the truth. And Z-Man his hands never separated.
Whoa!
A lot of strength there. And Z-Man able to make a very unique counter from a very precarious position. And Z-Man up and over the top. Shows great agility, put the brakes on. Z-Man up on top here. High crossbody.
This Laurinaitis is the youngest but the least memorable. Clearly, because I don't remember ever seeing him before.
Outside goes Rage. In comes Fury.
Would the Road Warriors job to anyone today? If the Road Warriors were around today, I don't think they'd have the leverage to be able to say, I'm not putting that guy over or anything like that. I think, and that's how, like, that's kind of how the WWE operates today, where it's like you just do. Oh my God! Johnny Gunn. Did you see the video WWE posted of Alistair knocked out in the parking lot? No, I didn't see it. Not aware of such a video. Did the Road Warriors ever face the Steiners? Yes, they actually faced off in the Iron Man Tag Team Tournament at Starrcade '89.
He's holding the side of his face. He ain't too pleased right now.
Z-Man making the tag for the first time with Johnny Gunn. They make the exchange. Gunn using that rope for a little additional leverage, but he just got caught in the face with a tremendous forearm blow. Slows him down.
Oh, the big guys have a miscommunication. Roll up. No, 2 count. Arm drag. God, how many arm drags have we seen so far today?
Well, the wrecking crew's wrecking themselves right now. Rage blasted Fury with that forearm, but no harm done.
Rage and Fury. Those are very intense names.
Oh, Ben back up to their vertical face, and it's Fury with the trying to gain an advantage here.
Oh, big clothesline.
Face, perhaps right across the nose with a clothesline.
And Johnny Gunn with that pretty face, he must not like that. He ain't gonna like it. No.
Oh.
Backbreaker. Tremendous high impact move to the kidney area, the lower back of Johnny Gunn. Irish.
There we go.
The ropes, and Fury,
Oh, Johnny Gunn breaks out of it. Gets a tag.
early. Gunn able to capitalize on that situation and tag in his partner, the Z-Man.
The Z-Man. Tom Zay. Patrick, do you side with Tamatonga and the OGs, or do you side with Kenny, the Bucks, and Cody? I side with Kenny, the Bucks, and Cody. They're the baby faces here, man. You know, they tried to make the Bullet Club a reputable brand, and they want to take it back to them just being a bunch of dirty assholes. I haven't heard anything about the Mae Young Classic. All I know is that the only thing I have heard is that Madison Rayne is in it. That's literally the only thing I've heard. When does that start? Like, when does it kick? I know they're taping it now, but when does it air? Ducks the clothesline. Crossbody. Oh! Big slam.
Z-Man and Gunn had it going their way, but now it's Wrecking Crew. They're using the strength, they're using the rough tactics.
Who is the least ruined superstar that has come up from NXT and not a member of the Shield? Probably Braun Strowman, but he didn't have the longest run in NXT. Oh, big kick to the face. I guess Charlotte Flair would be another one. Why does it feel like all the technically gifted wrestlers from the late 80s and early 90s were from Minnesota? Well, didn't you know Minnesota was a wrestling factory? Johnny Gunn. I like that name. It's such a cheesy name, but I kind of like it. I think Toni Storm is in the Mae Young Classic. Might be wrong. She should be. I would think she'd be in it. Well, no, she could be in it. Because I'm thinking ahead to Evolution. It's like, well, if she's in it, she can't win the tournament because there's going to be the Mae Young Classic Finals is going to be at Evolution, and also I think aren't they going to do like the women's NXT UK title at that show as well? Which I would think Toni Storm would be in that. Wrecking Crew gets the win. Why do Finlanders enjoy cribbage? I have no idea. Okay, Mae Young Classic starts airing on the 5th and the finals at Evolution. Okay. Toni can win both. She can win everything. I guess. Toni Storm is so much better than the WWE woman. Well, hey, she's going to be a WWE woman now, so. Here we go, the Hollywood Blondes.
Brian Pillman, stunning Steve Austin. Tonight's the night, boys. You clash with the champions. Got that right, Larry. It couldn't be any more appropriate than having the legend himself right here with us. Because tonight, live and in Technicolor, millions will watch the birth of two new legends, Stunning Steve and Flying Brian, the next great dynasty in professional sports. Ricky Steamboat, Shane Douglas, be prepared to pay a severe price because I can guarantee
Toni can win everything unless Io Shirai is involved as well. Yeah. What do you think of Punk getting sued? I'm going to talk about that tomorrow in the video I'm doing tomorrow. Hollywood Blondes, they were a great team. I wonder if Flying Brian would ever point a gun at Stunning Steve Austin. Not yet. The loose cannon Brian Pillman would definitely point a gun at Stone Cold Steve Austin. We know that much. Yeah, Brian Pillman, there's, oh God, what could have been? I mean, that's a damn shame. I need to stop drinking when I'm here, or drink more. Either way. But you're not driving anywhere. Oh God, this is our first instance of getting... Cold Sting! He's the man, Cold Sting! Because Dunkin' Donuts are great and very tempting. The next great dynasty until they got over or bad ratings or money or something. Yeah, Bischoff explained that he split up the Hollywood Blondes because it was more economically sound to split them up and use them as single stars, which, okay, sure.
For all those invitations that I got, Tony, I never, ever one time walked away from it, and Van Vader, I'm not going to walk away from your castle.
Dutch Bros or Starbucks? I've never been to Dutch Bros, but I'll take anything over Starbucks. Starbucks offends me. They're the most famous brand of coffee in the world, and their coffee is awful. Awful. Can't stand it, and it's overpriced. It's like, if I'm paying that much for a cup of coffee, it better be the best goddamn cup of coffee I've ever had, and it's awful. Their straight coffee is terrible. It's like, oh, but their cappuccino mocha things, those are great. It's like, yeah, but those are basically desserts. I want a normal cup of coffee, and Starbucks cannot provide that to me. They are incapable. A flair for the old was hilarious. I agree, it was funny. Starbucks is overrated, expensive crap. Yes, it is. I've gotten coffee out of vending machines that are better than Starbucks. For $1. Is that the what went wrong? CM Punk and Colt's friendship? No, that won't be that. I've heard people say they live and die by Starbucks coffee. I am not a coffee guy. I am a coffee guy, and I know there are people that they go to Starbucks every day, and I'm like, why? It's not good. When I worked at Deloitte, I don't work there anymore, but when I worked at Deloitte, there was a Starbucks right outside our office, and people would go there every single day. And I'm like, why? It's terrible. And you were expected to have coffee chats and meet with people one-on-one at the Starbucks. Oh, the Barbarian going after Harley Race. I think Vader and Orndorff lose a team member.
I don't understand this.
Oh, a pile driver on the floor. Ooh, ooh. Damn. Why isn't Matt Riddle signed to a major show? I have no idea. What's a Deloitte? I don't have enough time to explain that. It was a contracting firm that I used to work for.
It looks as if Harley Race and Team Vader have even the sides at 3-on-3 for tonight's Thundercage showdown.
I'm confused. I don't understand why you let hatred take away a 4-on-3 advantage. That's certainly what they did.
That match still to come in this broadcast. Yes, it was about a year ago. Your first pay-per-view in WCW was right here in Milwaukee at NECA, Super Brawl 2.
That's right, and Super Brawl's coming up again. So it's dear to my heart.
Matt Riddle is signed to NXT. He'll likely be in the crowd at TakeOver Brooklyn 4. There you go.
Fans, let's take a quick look at highlights from the first 2 Super Brawls.
On Sunday, February 21st,
I've only been to Starbucks once, and that was for a job interview.
Wrestling presents the 3rd annual Super Brawl. This spectacular event will originate from beautiful
Super Brawl, where you get one of my favorite main events in WCW history.
The first Super Brawl took place on May 19, 1991, from the Bayfront Center in St. Petersburg, Florida. Here are some highlights from that memorable event.
Dustin Rhodes versus Terry Taylor.
Hey, could Z-Man be in the shower?
Missy, he might be. Why don't you go look? Why don't you see for yourself?
Hey, first woman to
Hi,
get a
Missy.
locker room interview. Now the first woman to interview a wrestler in the shower. Let's go see.
Why is...
Hey, wait a minute. I'm just here to do an interview.
Oh, God. Oh, God. That is horrifying. That is horrifying. He's in the shower, yet he's spitting tobacco. Why is he spanking Missy with his cowboy hat? That is... That was weird.
He'll take a chance here.
Sting and Lex Luger versus the Steiner Brothers from '91. That's a match. I don't remember watching that match, but I totally would have been like, I don't know who to root for, Sting or the Steiner Brothers. Are we sure she wants to interview him in the shower, quote unquote?
In Tokyo, those chops by Flair.
Have you seen the Bulko experiment? I have not. I don't even know what that is.
Super Brawl 2 originated from Milwaukee's Mecca on February 29th. Championships were decided on a night that most certainly...
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyone watching the show on the network, I'm sorry your eyes had to be subjected to that.
Some of the outstanding moments from 1992's Power Back event.
Flying Brian versus Liger.
He may have it. 1-2 to near fall. Setting him up for the superplex.
Zbyszko and Austin versus Rhodes and Wyndham.
Push him off. And Rhodes down on the apron. And Rhodes from behind nails Zbyszko.
What went wrong? Wade Barrett. Well, pop in your SummerSlam history, kids. Go back to SummerSlam 2010, and you'll get a pretty good answer. That's how it started to go wrong, anyway.
And did he walk into Arn Anderson?
Anderson and Eaton versus the Steiner Brothers.
Steamboat.
Rick Rude and Ricky Steamboat. I might watch Super Brawl 2 soon. This looks like a really good card.
Great leapfrog by Steamboat. Arm drag takeover.
Right?
Nobody does it any better. What an arm drag.
This card looks freaking great. Why the hell am I watching this?
I didn't know Steamboat had that kind of strength.
And then Sting and Lex Luger for the title. I do remember watching that match and liking it.
What a right hand.
And what a comeback.
This year, Super Brawl 3 promises to be even more exciting than ever before.
Did you ever see the Power Ranger fan movie about Mighty Morphin Future? Was that the one where like Zach was a drug addict and Kimberly was blowing everybody? Oh, there's the crooked logo. There's the crooked logo again. Popped up on the highlight reel. It rears its ugly head again.
Watching the event with friends live on pay-per-view. Super Brawl 3, Live on Sunday, February 21st.
He basically said everyone on the roster is trying to get Roman over. Okay.
Just a few moments, the battle just for the unified world tag team.
I'll get him over, turn him heel.
You know what? I can't wait to see this battle because you got two teams here, the champions, who have done very, very well, surprising to me. And we'll see if they can successfully defend that title just moments away.
The champions Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas are standing by with Larry Zbyszko.
Well, I'm here with the Unified Tag Team Champions, and guys, we're a few minutes away from what Brian Pillman and Steve Austin claim is their destiny.
We know something, Larry. They claimed it could be the start of the destiny, but also the very end. Shane and I have come too far to end it now.
You know, the old cliche goes, Larry, you've got to learn to walk before you can run. Stunning Steve Austin and Flying Brian. Let's go to the ring and hook it up and find out where the path of destiny takes us. And we'll be right back with the Clash of the Champions.
Barrett indirectly said that the League of Nations was only put together to get Roman over. Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. Yeah, the one where Rocky betrayed everyone and Tommy became a vagabond. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that video.
It is for the unified world tag team champions.
The day Roman doesn't get any reaction anymore is the day he stops being over. Well, I mean, you had a bunch of people walk out of a main event of a pay-per-view, and they're just not. And here's the thing about Roman. When I compare him to Cena, like, he is far less irritating than Cena. He doesn't win all the time. His character's not as annoying. They fixed certain things. He's a good worker. He's gotten better in the ring. It's just the damage is already done, and they haven't done anything to kind of counteract that. Just people's first impression was bad, and that's just what you have now. And the only way to fix it is to turn him heel. That's just my opinion of it. Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas defending the gold against the Hollywood Blondes. They weren't calling themselves the Hollywood Blondes yet. God, we've had some really good tag matches in these some of these last few clashes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the unified tag
Roman has a character. Well,
and Jess and
he's the dog that runs the yard because Vince says so. That's his character.
This is a 30-minute time limit due to this primetime television broadcast, somewhat of a departure from normal time limits in a championship event.
Normal time limit is 60 minutes, so you got to take that into account, Jim Ross. If you plan on wearing an opponent down, you better do it quicker. And I think this could lead us to a little bit of a quicker.
WWE is the blueprint Naito. Yeah, absolutely. Naito, you want to fix Roman Reigns? Look at what New Japan did with Naito. Because he was basically their Roman Reigns, where they were like, we're going to push him down your throats whether you like it or not. And he didn't get over, and then they fixed some things, and he became like one of the hottest guys in the company.
Steamboat got close there. Single leg picked up. Steamboat going for the cover 1, 2.
People use the term overrun, equals making the people care either positively or negatively. I would say getting the reaction that's desired would be considered like, especially if you're a babyface. Like, if you're a babyface and you're supposed to be the protagonist of the show, basically, and 80% of the fans don't like you, that's a problem.
This is like the no-huddle offense. They're getting it on.
That's right. Look at Flying Brian checking the head of Stunning Steve.
Yeah, Steve has a little less hair in this one. Got his hair cut short. He's going to lose a little bit more hair as the years go on.
And now Stunning Steve Austin extending his hand and a leg.
Patrick, if I paid you $10 million, would you watch every match from Cena's 2006 title reign? You know what? If you paid me $10 million, I would. It would suck, and I'd be miserable, but it's like there's $10 million. Just $10 million. I can do that for $10 million. Same applies to heels. If they can't get booed, they're doing something wrong. I agree with that.
It's only sickening if you're on the receiving end of it.
Oh, look at Steamboat. Hip toss. Drop kick. Arm drag. You know, it's sad. We're in 93. We're getting close to the end of Steamboat's career. We're getting fairly close to that, unfortunately.
Steamboat has had several partners in his illustrious career. All successful, we should add. Jay Youngblood, Paul Jones, Dustin Rhodes.
How can you remember all that names, Ross?
Dating myself. Yes, aren't I? Shane Douglas right
Here
off
comes
the top.
Shane.
Nice wrist lock.
Remember when Shane Douglas was a fresh-faced baby face? That's like,
Martino watching this.
look at the little put-em there.
In the steel city. Steamboat hits the tag, comes right back over the top. Makes the tag, another quick tag, in and out. They're certainly trying to keep Pillman off balance here, Jess.
Absolutely, and you can bet Bruno's hoping Shane does a lot better than the Steelers did in the playoffs.
Good move there by Steamboat.
If you could have Steamboat in his prime for one match with a wrestler from today, who would it be?
Steamboat and Douglas executing their offense. Pillman shows great
I had to think about that. Probably, like, AJ is one I'd like to see.
Pillman injured here. This is
Uh-oh.
very unfortunate, Ross.
Yeah, sure it is.
Pillman obviously going into the wall when he caught Douglas coming in.
Well, I've seen that before. Pillman.
Oh, look at that! Nice counter by Shane. Oh. Drop to hold. Austin getting pummeled by Shane Douglas.
By Shane Douglas, a young man with a master's degree.
Oh,
Very intelligent athlete. Good drop toe by Austin. Floats over front baseline.
oh, look at these counters. Look at the drop toe holds and the hammer locks.
And drives the knee.
It's like Austin can wrestle or something.
Steve Austin.
And I know he got that.
Steamboat versus Tommaso would be a good one, yeah.
In conservatism.
I think Rush Limbaugh's a big WCW fan, as a matter of fact.
Oh, please, Ross, don't make me throw up here on the air.
There's a dated reference, Rush Limbaugh.
Hammerlock in on Stubbs.
Is Rush Limbaugh still in the air? Like,
Pressure there on the
I remember him being a thing in the 90s, and he stayed on radio for a really long time.
Hands are locked, yes. Good positioning here.
And he's putting the pressure on. Champions have controlled this bout so far in the early going over the challengers. The champions, of course, Shane Douglas and the Dragon Ricky Steamboat.
Another drop toe.
Remember back in 2002 and 2003 when Brock would actually wrestle? Where he acted like he cared? Yeah, I remember that. But in a way, like the way he works now, it's when he actually tries. When he tries, it's more believable than it was back then. Where it's like he's just this big hoss that just pummels and throws people around.
That was a finished move there where they hammerlocked the man.
Rush who? Yeah, well, I'm dating myself by referencing Rush Limbaugh for sure.
Champions Douglas and Steamboat have been much better on their fast tags in and out, keeping the fresh man in the ring.
Ducks. Where's Shane doing? Sunset flip. No.
He got him down. He got two. And that's a long two. And Austin got the cradle.
What a rush. Limbaugh. Tim Burton. Yeah, I like Lesnar's match with AJ. That was a great match.
Whoa, good move by Douglas.
Yeah.
Flips over the top.
Oh, look. What the hell was that? That looked awesome.
I love it. Sneaky Flying Brian comes in with the boot and saves his partner.
Double hip toss. Champs in control. Oh, look at that. Oh, Steamboat's the legal man. The referee getting Douglas out of there.
That's getting rough when you're getting covered by your own partner. You got to kick your own partner off. I mean, Stunning Steve must think everybody's coming at him.
I still think the best match since his return is with Punk at SummerSlam 2013. I agree. That was a very good match. Is it bad that I'm starting to care a little less about AJ's current title reign? No knock on AJ. It's just I don't care about anything the main roster's doing these days. I haven't watched it in months. AJ's been champion for almost a year, and he's one of my favorite guys. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. That's just the nature of just the way WWE is right now.
The flying Brian Pillman, the former Cincinnati Bengal now.
A fresh Brian Pillman.
Good point.
Oh, we getting a body slam by Pillman.
Steamboat, hard slam, lateral press, and a 2 count.
Oh, a little love tap out there on that. Oh, and look at this sucker move. Sucker move. He brings
Oh.
Douglas into the ring and then fires the dragon out over the top rope. Only the fans and we see it. Referee has no idea what happened.
And it really wasn't a very intelligent move.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that AJ. There are 2 belts, and so AJ doesn't feel like the Supremo champion that he should.
Sometimes you gotta take those chances.
I knew Rusev wasn't going to beat him. That's the thing. Like, yeah, I just knew it wasn't going to happen.
Austin feel they must do.
How dare Rusev get over when he wasn't supposed to?
Douglas is playing right into their hand right now.
Douglas got very emotional. That's what goes along with being so youthful. Coleman hammering that.
Boxing has 5 championships. Yeah, and it's confusing.
Here on the apron. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Counters that mark.
Like who?
And he's got
Like if you ask a normal person who the world heavyweight champion of boxing is, well, yeah, there's the divisions.
to interrupt the move.
Whoa, what happened there? Okay,
Suplexing Steamboat.
but yeah, too many belts. It just dilutes things.
Lateral press.
And right now, WWE, it's just they're making the NWA look modest
Lateral presses.
with the amount of championships they have now. I mean, especially if you count NXT and the NXT UK thing that they're starting up, it's like there's like 20 championships. Yeah, what championships would I take away from New Japan? The 6-man belts. I would probably then you've got like the US, the IC, and the never open weight belt. I would get rid of one of those at least. Oh, they do. Yeah, I mean it's a problem. Ring of Honor, I would totally get rid of the 6-man tag titles. They don't need it.
Down there, that martial arts right to the chest.
But definitely shorten like the heavyweight singles belts. Get rid of 1 or 2 of those, and get rid of the 6-man belts for sure. For New Japan, and for ROH, definitely get rid of those the ROH 6-man tag titles because they really don't need those. Yeah, that would work. Like unify the regular belts with the open belts and see if there's just get one big match out of those belts and then get rid of them. Belts for everyone. You get a belt. You get a belt. You get a belt. And you get a belt. Heels are double teaming Steamboat. Yeah, Steamboat and Austin had some good matches together.
That's so much resiliency. Fighting back with all he's got. He nails Pillman. He nailed Pillman, and Pillman was driven to the steel.
Oh, suplex. Steamboat couldn't get the tag.
Austin hit the belly-to-back suplex, and Steamboat folded up like an accordion. Austin trying to get the cover, hooks the leg, but Steamboat, Austin didn't have enough.
If New Japan dropped the 6-man belts and a couple of singles belts, would you be open to having Stardom having their women on New Japan shows? I guess I wouldn't be opposed to it because at least that's offering something that the men can't offer, which is women's wrestling.
Intense pace in this unified championship event.
And there's the body vice up there. He's putting it on reverse backbreaker. And Austin with enough strength. Whoa, Steamboat kicked
Oh, Steamboat kicked out of it.
Tries to back body drop stunning Steve, but there ain't enough there.
We're getting a pile driver.
Back up.
Oh, nope, back into the...
Submission maneuver by stunning Steve Austin. Has his hands locked.
And if he can keep Steamboat in the center of that ring.
Too many belts equals participation trophies. Yeah, I agree with that.
Pillman made the tag.
See, early, like 80s and 90s, WWF had it perfect. World title, IC title for the mid-carders, tag titles. That's all they had. They had it down perfect. Look at Steamboat with a springboard.
Martial arts flow. Steamboat really reaching down. Douglas is well rested and ready to accept.
Come on, Steamboat, get the tag.
Steamboat reaching forward.
Get it.
Wants to make the tag.
He didn't make it.
Flips out of the suplex. It's a suplex of his own. Come on, Steamboat, get in that corner. And the string of really good tag matches at the Clash of Champions continues. I'm really enjoying this. Come on, Steamboat. Gets the tag. They have all women's promotions in Japan, so no need for a women's division in New Japan. No, but they can have a working relationship with Stardom or another company. Definitely, and give them like a match on some of their big shows or something. Belly to belly suplex by Douglas. But here comes Austin with the top rope elbow. Here we go. One, two, no! Douglas kicked out. What's the most overused spot in tag matches to you? Well, nowadays it's the dog pile spot. Oh, Austin with a belt shot. Disqualification. Oh, DDT by Bryan onto Steamboat. That's why I love Lucha Underground. Only 3 belts, and the belt that is their mid-card belt. Anywhere else is literally what leads to the world title. It's perfect. Yeah, they've got a pretty nice setup there. The hot tag is pretty overused. It's like every match has to have the hot tag spot. Every tag match has to have. Oh, God, Douglas is busted. Ooh. Oh, they're even taking the belts with them. Dicks. Bunch of dicks. Remember back in 2011 when you said every WWE tag match is exactly the same? Yeah, it wasn't until I think the Shield kind of broke them out of that, but there was a period where like every tag match was identical. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I mean, I could almost, like, call a tag match spot for spot.
In Baltimore, Maryland, wrestling's most powerful competitor regained the WCW World's Heavyweight title for an earth-shaking second time. Big Van Vader capitalized on Ron's shoulder injury to defeat the former Florida State University.
Watching Ron Simmons get destroyed by Vader here.
The world title lost to Simmons on August 2nd, 1992 in the same Baltimore arena. Here are the closing moments of the 450-pounder's second WCW World title victory.
What went wrong? WWE's tag team division. What went wrong is that Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling. Vader gets him.
Vader and Simmons, who will be on opposing teams in tonight's Thundercage main event, have signed to meet in a return bout for the WCW World's Heavyweight title in the very near future. This rematch promises.
Are we watching the Sting Vader strap match after this clash? Probably not. No. I've actually got somewhere to be right after we finish watching Saturday night's main event. Actually, it's getting pretty dark out. Let me turn some lights on. Vader time! Bischoff apparently hated tag team wrestling as well. Yeah, and, you know, if you listen to the 83 Weeks podcast, he basically said it's like, well, it's more economically sound to keep Austin and Pillman away from each other. It's like, okay, sure. Going on a date? No, just meeting up with some friends. I'm not going on a date, no.
Let me tell you something, Jesse. This man right here is the greatest athlete on the face of God's green earth. And all he needed was a little trampoline toward what he had in mind. He is and is going to be the longest reigning world heavyweight champion in the history of wrestling.
He's blowing up his sex doll. I don't have a sex doll. Uh-oh. There's Ron Simmons. Tag team wrestling isn't a money draw, says WWE, yet they'll give anything to have the Young Bucks. Yeah, the Young Bucks are kind of drawing really well right now, aren't they? Sell out all in, and they're going to be on that ROH New Japan Supercard in the Garden. Ooh! Ron Simmons. He can throw Vader around.
Ron Simmons standing tall in the square circle.
Hey, Ross, I gotta tell you something. Ron Simmons had no business coming up. That's my interview. What's he doing the Harley race?
He's beating the hell out of him. That's what he's doing with those right hands. Raises up. Wait a minute.
Oh, God! I can't imagine what it feels like having Vader just run into you. Did the Bucks really need to take the six-man belts off of the Kingdom? I really like the Kingdom. I guess they didn't need to, but I don't think the six-man belts need to exist. So, could WWE fans have sued WWE for using once-in-a-lifetime tagline at WrestleMania 28? I'm no legal expert, but I doubt that they would have had much of a case. Run into a wall, you'll get a rough idea. Oh, God! Vader's just beating the shit out of Ron.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we prepare for one of the most spectacular.
Here we go, the Thundercage.
In all of wrestling, the Thundercage Tag Team Spectacular. Come dressed as you are. Street Fight Rules prevail. Disqualifications will not be allowed. It is for one fall.
Did you know that Renee Young is going to be calling Raw on Monday? I heard that. Why is she calling Raw on Monday? Just out of curiosity. Why'd they make that change?
For the Tag Team Thundercage feature presentation.
Well, Jesse, this situation has certainly taken some unique turns in the last couple of hours. We heard that Van Hammer injured back in Atlanta.
Okay, so we're doing this Thundercage match between these two teams, and everybody keeps getting hurt. It's like, is anyone going to make it to this thing?
It is obviously very, very doubtful if Ron Simmons will be able to continue this contest. If that is the case, it will be Vader, Wyndham, and Ormond against Sting and Dustin Rhodes.
Coach won't be at Raw. Okay. Yeah, Thundercage is a lot like Hell in a Cell. There's a lot of similarities. And the Memphis Cage, which is another, obviously, big influence on it.
Number one, accompanied by seven-time former World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race. First, from the Rocky Mountains, 2,450 pounds, the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Big Van Vader. From Sweetwater, Texas, 278 pounds, the Warrior.
WWE posted a video about top 10 SummerSlam endings, which they got mostly wrong. I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know. So instead of doing a two-man booth and not having a bunch of talking over each other, they had a rookie who's not good. Yeah, but their commentary's not good anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, have any of your coworkers seen any of your videos? If they have, they've never brought it up to me. I've mentioned that I make YouTube videos, but I don't know if any of them have actually seen it. The man called Sting. God, that cage looks huge.
Remember, though, there are still tag team rules in effect, but a distinct advantage on Wyndham and Rhodes. Not wasting any time. Sting hooking it up and Thundercage. No disqualification. It's a street fight. It's underway.
I need to remix that Sting theme? Maybe.
On the outside, but we got 4 guys on the inside.
Cage has been locked.
And now we're getting down to tag team, and it looks like Dustin Rhodes, the natural, and Big Barry Windham.
Fans are running a little short on time here.
Okay, Sting and Dustin Rhodes are down a man. We've got Wyndham and Orndorff and Vader on the other team. Why are tag team rules still in effect when there's no DQ? Great question. A lot of like NWA cage matches would do that. Like, and I'm just kind of like, It doesn't really make sense to me if it's supposed to be a free-for-all. And you can't, even if there was tag rules, you can't get DQ'd anyway, so why bother tagging in and out? Are you surprised there have never been WWE chants like NXT and TNA? I mean, it doesn't roll off the tongue real well. WWE.
Wyndham don't know it either. He don't know the tag's been made.
Patrick, what's your opinion on the flippy stuff? I like flippy stuff in a match that makes sense. If you're able to do it in a way that makes it make sense and tell a solid story, I can enjoy it. When you're just doing flippy stuff for the sake of doing flippy stuff, then I just get bored and tune out.
And there is Big Van Vader, who has invited Sting to join him at the White Castle of Fear. And we are certainly
The White Castle of Fear.
in a mysterious situation. I have no idea.
Don't we have enough bad chants? Yeah, I agree.
No more about that this weekend on television. Calling out both ties.
What about the floppy stuff?
In the world.
Well, the floppy stuff, I mean, that's always great, right?
Than any other athlete competing today.
Oh, yeah, that's the stinger. You know, I'll tell you what, the disadvantage here is with the champion, Van Vader. You know why, Ross?
How do you feel about people who only like big wrestlers and hate all small wrestlers? Well, it's the same as people who only like small wrestlers and hate all the big guys. It's like, I guess you like what you like and just keep liking what you like, but me, I like a variety. I hate the This Is Awesome chants. I can't stand them. I agree. Oh, big club by Sting. Oh, another shot. Is Vader the only one wearing wrestling tights? I think he is.
Staggered but not down.
Reverse atomic drop. Inverted atomic drop.
And he's still not down.
Vader will not go down. DDT! That took him down. You can't wrestle is an ignorant chant. I like, you can't wrestle. It's like, hey, he's better than you. Fuck off.
Vader, the champion, not faring too well out there.
Stinger splash. Stinger splash.
In the corner of Vader, hooked the rope where he'd be flat in his face.
And a thunderous right hand, right to the jaw of the heavyweight champion of the world, and the 450-pound monster is in trouble. As Sting is turning Vader, just like Vader, manhandle him. Back to December 28th, it's Starcade.
He's literally pounding the
Vader's going down.
I have never seen Vader manhandle like this. Sting, nailing Wyndham. Here comes Orndorff. Right hand, and down goes Mr. Wonderful.
Again, I talked about this earlier, like the whole like Monday Night Wars guys and The 80s kind of being phased out. It is. Look at Vader. He did the Ric Flair flip up the corner. Dang. But anyway, it's so weird to see like Barry Windham, Paul Orndorff, Sting, and Vader all in one match. Goldust, the future Goldust, all in one match. And we're going to be getting an appearance from somebody else a little later on. Fight Forever is... I hate Fight Forever because it's like, no, I want a winner. I don't want him to fight forever. I want a winner to this thing. That's why I'm here. Sting rolls out of the way. One falls, another annoying one. Yeah. Oh, God, Orndorff. Yeah, one fall. It's like, congratulations, assholes. You can parrot what the ring announcer says.
Sting right across the apron of the ring. Vader tags in Orndorff, and Orndorff comes in with a vengeance.
Mr. Wonderful.
He is intense as any athlete you'll ever see. The former running back.
The 10 chance, see, that's one of those things. It's like the what chance. If they kept the what chance to just Austin, it would be great. But they just got out of control and ruined every promo for like a decade. And then with the 10 chance, it's like, if they kept it to Ty Dillinger's matches only, it would be fine. But they did it in every match, and it fucks up all the countouts. I'm like, you guys are just idiots. Fucking morons.
And what was originally scheduled to be an 8-man tag team event.
Yeah, this is supposed to be an 8-man tag team match. It got shortened down to friggin' 5.
Well, even if it had been below the belt.
No matter here.
The street fight rules of no disqualification. The referee is only here.
Yeah, WWE's not going to do any more Iron Man matches for a while after what happened at the last pay-per-view. The clock was more over than the match was. See, the Moose chants are good because they only chant Moose during Moose matches, so it's good.
He has really been punished.
Oh, but we got a free-for-all now. Is Lesnar Reigns from this year's WrestleMania the worst WrestleMania main event ever? No. No, I even did a video about it. Top 10 worst WrestleMania main events. It's not the worst. It's bad, but it's not the worst.
Wyndham wrecking Sting's face right across the top of the table here. Big Van Vader tag back in. And a hard uppercut right to the
Now, so far into this match, I have to ask, like, why is this a Thundercage match? Because they have not used the cage at all.
He disappeared. Vader's so huge.
I mean, this would be a perfectly fine, like, tag team match, but they have this giant cage surrounding the ring, and they haven't used it at all. And it's supposed to be a street fight, and they haven't done any street fighting. It's just a regular tag match.
Sting at just over 250 pounds. And look at Big Van Vader.
Oh!
He threw him up in the air. And
He just,
on the way down.
okay, he had Sting up in a gorilla press. He pushed him up in the air and then punched him in the gut on the way down.
Here comes Wyndham.
Vader's nasty.
And they are taking their liberties now with WCW's most popular.
I remember you did a video in 2014 where you said, I can't imagine TNA surviving into 2015. They're still alive. I don't know how.
Turnbuckle up there.
Look at that. Sting looks like a dish rag up there. You got it right. He's almost snapped out now.
Sting's got to fight back. And then Sting, he burns the right hands into the midsection.
Superplex, but Sting's fighting out of it.
Right hand, right to the heart. And a straight to the head. Then goes Wyndham. Sting has been so battered. And
Dustin, just get out of the ring and smack Wyndham. Like, why are you, like, standing there in the corner? All right, there's the tag to Dustin.
Dustin Rhodes fighting for his life here. Down goes
TNA Impact Wrestling can survive a nuclear blast. Yeah, them and the cockroaches.
But how long can he beat up all three of them?
High elevation. Hit it back, body drop. Rhodes elevates Wyndham. Boy, you ever get a chance to see these two one-on-one? It is a war, just like you're saying here. Total hatred between these two.
There's Cactus Jack
There's Cactus Jack.
What's his purpose here?
with bolt cutters. He just broke into the cage.
Cactus Jack is cutting that lock off the cage. The Bazaar in New Mexico Madman is trying to get in the cage.
TNA is more immortal than Katrina. Jesus. More immortal than Hulk Hogan. Cactus Jack, is he the third man? Is Cactus Jack the third man? And he's beating up all the heels with his boot. What's your least favorite cage match? Oh God. See, this is the match I thought it was going to be, where it's just a giant free-for-all.
Catching Rhodes from behind. Cactus thrown outside. Hard on the floor. Wyndham outside.
Yeah, least favorite cage match. Probably like the Team 3D Dudley Boys LAX electrified cage match, because that was just a. That was, you want to talk about dead on arrival. That's an idea that was never going to work.
I don't know. I guess the ref at this point with pouches ever in the
When it's all said and done, will you rank the Young Bucks and the greatest tag teams of all time? Not top 10 or 20, but still up there. Yeah, I don't know like where I'd place them exactly, but I mean they're like one of the hottest acts outside of WWE. Ooh! Paul Orndorff, a victim of another smack with a foreign object while jumping off the top rope. Faces win. A Thundercage that never got used once. Cena versus Bray. I don't remember that one. Cena versus Bray. I remember that was the one time that Bray beat him, but that's. Yeah, it's like that was. They could have just done a normal match. Like that didn't need to be a Thundercage match. I mean, it's still a good match. It was just I don't know why they put the Thundercage around it. What was the point? How can Vince not think tag teams can sell when the Road Warriors exist? Good question. But this is the guy that ruined the Road Warriors by giving them a ventriloquist dummy. I mean, Jesus Christ. How do you feel about people constantly asking, when is so-and-so coming to the WWE? Well, I mean, it's natural because they are the biggest wrestling company in America. So it's only natural to think, oh, when's that guy going to go to the main company? But personally, it just makes me sad because it's like, oh, I know they're going to get ruined.
Now they tell me, how can you stand toe-to-toe and expect to eliminate Big Van Vader and Paul Orndorff? I got a neck that hurts me every morning I woke up. Paul Orndorff! You drove my head into the ground, and that neck tells me, Cactus Jack, you're in over your head. Van Vader! You splashed these ribs, and these ribs tell me, Cactus Jack, you're in way over your head. But now it's time for me to tell you something about Cactus Jack. You see Jim Ross?
The A block for G1 finals happened and the winner surprised me. No spoilers. I haven't seen. I'm way behind. What is the most over inanimate object in WWE history? I would think the steel chair. Maybe tables and ladders, like the tables, ladders, and chairs.
This Saturday on PBS, you're in a world war that you won't believe. Gun Paul Orndorff with both guns blazing, because I guarantee you, Cactus Jack will. Bang, 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 bang.
Nice promo from Mick. I love it. Cactus Jack, now a babyface.
One
lucky, but we got more to come. You know what's right around the corner? Super Brawl 3 and my 1-year reunion with WCW.
Oh, now Cactus is climbing the cage. Moppy was over. Hawk and Animal hated the puppet Rocco. It's like, do you blame them? Mr. Sacco, yeah, Moppy. Yeah, those are over inanimate objects. See, I was thinking like stuff that gets brought into the match, which I guess Sacco would count in that as well, and so would Head. But those are like wrestler-specific props, I guess. No, Cactus isn't going to throw himself off the cage. Austin's beer, also over inanimate object. Was Moppy punishment for Saturn? I don't know. I don't know if that was a punishment for Saturn. Triple H's Sledgehammer, that's another one. All right, so that concludes the Clash of the Champions. Good show. The main event was good, but the cage gimmick was completely pointless. But I thought the tag title match was very good and a nice early start for the Hollywood Blondes, what would ultimately become the Hollywood Blondes, Steve Austin and Brian Pillman. And there's a few other good matches on the show as well. Chris Benoit versus Brad Armstrong. And, overall just solidly entertaining show from start to finish. Joey Ryan's penis. Does that count as inanimate, though? Alrighty. So who's ready for Saturday night's main event? These are some long post-show credits. The urn, yeah, the urn was over. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop the stream real quickly. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna jump into Saturday night's main event 23. Let me just find it here on the network. Where's Saturday night's main event? Saturday night's main event. There it is. Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break here, but don't go away. We'll be back with Saturday night's main event number 23. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? That was a quick intermission, but yeah, now. Alrighty. I scared the shit out of you? I'm sorry, dude. The Puppet Rocco was a Vince McMahon idea. No shit. No shit, it was a Vince idea. Okay, guys, we're going to get started here. If you're following along on the network, you're going to want to go to shows, Vault, Saturday night's main event, and we're going to go into 1989. It will be the second to last one, the October episode. Mick Mahan. Yes, wonderful. If Miz beats Bryan at SummerSlam, do you think that means Bryan could be leaving? Here's a stupid question. Is that match signed? I don't even know if that match is signed. I literally don't. I have not been following the product. On average, how long does it take you to film, edit, and upload a video? I can typically get it done in one evening, depending on how much effort. I used to put I used to edit my videos a lot more heavily, and it would take a while to get them up. Like when I did my Godzilla movie reviews, that took, I mean, my God, I put so much time into those. Now I can't even imagine putting that much effort into any video. So it's like, to me, if it's a video I can't do in a night, then I'm just kind of like, it's probably not worth doing. I've gotten lazier. Everyone else has gotten better on YouTube. I've gotten lazier. Hogan's helmet. Oh God, the war bonnet. Yeah. Okay, so the match is happening. Okay, Mrs. Bryan, good to know. Yeah, go get ice cream, dude. Summertime. All right, if you're following along on the network, we're going to start this off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I remember the effort you put in for WrestleMania 14. Yes. Oh, God, yeah, that was one of my early vids. Yeah, I think I was still I was less than a year in. I was using...
Roddy Piper may not bend material. I got hot, cool, and his manager Boobsy.
Roddy Piper making his in-ring return to Saturday night's main event. What episode? It'll be the October 89 episode.
Long live Randy Savage, the Macho King.
He is the Macho King at this point. Piper looked like a madman there. Doesn't he always look like a madman? Jesus, the Bushwhackers. Oh my God. God, they're shouting so much. My finger's bleeding. Wonder how I did that. Oh well.
Ted DiBiase here, the $1 million champion with the $1 million belt. And tonight, the $1 million match with Hulk Hogan. Am I worried? No. Why? Because I've got the $1 million insurance policy. Zeus! DiBiase, you may have millions of dollars, brother, but the Hulkster.
The Bushwhackers remind me of my uncle. Oh, jeez. What's your uncle like? Yes, the Bushwhackers are in the Hall of Fame. Why does he keep calling him the multi-million-dollar man? Like that's an insult. If anything, it's like, dude, you're not giving yourself, brother, you're not giving yourself enough credit. So much cocaine was harmed during the recording of these promos, right? Oh, we just saw footage of Randy Savage winning the crown. Yeah, we got Piper back. That shot of Heenan, what was that? Should it be $500,000 man, right? Yeah, at least insult the guy. My uncle is cool, but get him drunk and he's a lunatic. What the hell is Jesse Ventura wearing on his head? What is that?
So here we are as Hulk Hogan prepares to defend the World Wrestling Federation Championship against the $1 Million Man with Zeus in DiBiase's corner. And what an insurance policy Zeus is for the $1 Million Man. Also to join us, Rowdy Roddy Piper. And will there be rust in the old joints of Rowdy Roddy? He suffered after a long layoff. The Bushwhackers will join us, and then from there, one-on-one, Tito Santana against Rick Martel. I gotta get out of here.
Who would win in a verbal debate? Piper in his prime or Big Papa Pump? I would want to see it. I don't know who would win, but
We shall see indeed the coronation of the new king of the World Wrestling Federation. Let's take a look. We witnessed
oh, his coronation. We get to see Macho King's coronation too.
whose crown and robe are in a state of ravage. I now remove
The genius reading the poem to coronate his brother. That's kind of awesome, actually.
Macho King, Randy Savage. The genius proclaiming that indeed we have a new Macho King, Randy Savage, accompanied of course by his queen.
Is that Barry Windham there in the background?
Macho Man.
I think that's Barry Windham. Why the hell would you invite Akeem to your coronation?
Oh, what a beautiful coronation. Finally, it sent chills down my spine. We have a king and queen we can be proud of. Macho King, what do you want me to call you now?
Well, you can call me anything with respect, other.
Who would win? Big Papa Pump.
Personal friend of mine, so just call me.
Wait, what is it? Savage in his prime or Seth Rollins? If it's math, Scott wins. I'm sorry, I'm getting my comments screwed up. Okay, in a debate, if it's Piper and Big Papa Pump, if the subject is math, Scott wins. Yep, I agree with that.
Always dangerous Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Ooh, Jesse, it's true that nobility should not mingle with the common people. But I, Randy Savage, the Macho King, am on a quest to prove that I am worthy of being the greatest king.
Suited up Mr. Perfect with Heenan was the best Mr. Perfect. I always loved like the suit with the Mr. Perfect logo on the back. That always looked cool to me.
Someone as common as Snook gonna prove it. I will, and I will succeed. Ooh, yeah. The kingdom of the madness will rule the World Wrestling Federation forever and ever.
He's a heel and all heels are friends. Yeah. Well, I mean, Ted DiBiase was at the coronation for Savage. And I'm like, but don't they hate each other? All heels are friends.
Macho King, would it be all right?
Certainly, Jesse, the Macho King is generous to the faithful.
I thank you both, your royal highnesses, and wish you well on your noble quest. Long live the king!
Again,
Long live the king!
one more time.
Long live the king of the World Wrestling Federation!
Like it, come, my queen, the humble.
Could you imagine Randy Savage in charge of like a kingdom? Like legitimately?
Royalty is heading to the ring, and you better do it right, McMahon.
What minute are we on? Let's see. According to my machine, we're on minute 6. Did Mr. Perfect ever face HBK? Yes, at SummerSlam 93. Yes, We Are Pro Wrestling. You beat me to it. You know, Pomp and Circumstance does work for like a king gimmick. It kind of does work for a king gimmick. So
How was that entrance, McMahon? Did you handle it like I told you to? Look at the splendor right there. There's a king and queen that everybody can be proud of for a change.
Are you insinuating that not everyone was proud of the former king, Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
I wasn't.
you know, I said there were only 3 titles back then, but weirdly, like the crown, the king of the WWF crown, was weirdly like a separate title that was defended and lost and won for a while. It was very weird.
Queen Sherry when Savage really dug it from behind. Look at this now. Yeah, the king snaps his fingers.
The perfect HBK match was not that good. I've heard it wasn't that good. I saw it back at the time, but I don't remember it. Apparently, they spent too much time bumping for each other, and because they all bumped for each other, nobody got over. What about Savage versus HBK? They had matches on house shows in like '92. Actually, I think one of them was the main event to World Tour '92, I believe. One of the old Coliseum videos.
There is no king or queen over the Superfly Jimmy Snuka. I am my own man, a free man. Woo, woo, woo.
All right, I'm going to be my
Nice promo, Snuka. You're great, Jimmy.
Will still be sitting on the throne. The dust clears on this one. Vince, back to you.
All right, the Macho King awaiting the presence of the Phenom, the Superfly. Is only
The Phenom. Yeah, that's right. I remember that they used to call Jimmy Snuka the Phenom. And then The Undertaker beat him. It's WrestleMania 7. And then that changed. Are there any matches you liked when you were a kid but don't like anymore? I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure there are. Well, back as a kid, I liked every match. So if that makes any sense to you, like as a kid, I liked every match. I just enjoyed watching it. So it wasn't until I got older and went back and rewatched it. It's like, oh, that match wasn't very good. Oh, that wasn't very good either. So. Snuka and Benoit are burning in hell together. Yeah, Snuka has kind of a checkered past. It was never officially proven that he killed her, right? It's just always that thing, that suspicion that's always going to hang there around Jimmy Snuka. So the Snuka Taker match was to determine who would be called the Phenom? Yeah, I guess so. Unofficially, I guess that's how it turned out. Up there's Sherry. It was never proven in court. Yeah. Oh, elbow. I think Macho Man's going to win this one, guys.
Queen Sherry trying to instill and inspire the masses to the Macho King. Humble masses, huh?
Oh, there goes Jimmy. Imagine if Undertaker took every moniker from opponents he beat at Mania. So the walking condominium, the Undertaker. Oh, God! Sherry got like a nice little kick in there. She's getting a few kicks in. Who would you like to see Sherry Martel manage today? Who would she be good for? The Game, The Undertaker. Yeah. The Animal, The Undertaker. Sherry, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head today that would be a good fit for Sherry, but I'm so used to guys today not having managers that it's hard for me to picture them with a manager. Is it bad that Mr. Perfect never got to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Not really. Perfect was so good at that IC title role that I thought that was like his spot. So, the Nature Boy, The Undertaker. Big Daddy Cool Undertaker, the Rated R Superstar Undertaker. Snuka kicks out. Wait, let me go back and rewind that. I think there was an edit there. See, I think there was a weird. They changed camera angles on the pin attempt, but it looked different. Okay, so we're going back a little bit here. Wait a minute. The Legend Killer, The Undertaker. The Big Red Machine, The Undertaker.
You know what's interesting here, McMahon? If you're going to wrestle the king, that means you're going to face the queen too.
Sherry Martel with Mojo Rawley? Sure, why not? The Eater of Worlds, The Undertaker. The Big Dog, The Undertaker. No, Reigns beat him. So Roman Reigns gets all those titles now. The Snake, The Undertaker. That's pretty good. Yeah, there was like, okay, there's an edit there. They must have changed that when they aired the show, but there's an edit where Savage went to pin Snuka and he wasn't hooking the leg. Then they changed camera angles and he's hooking the leg. So something got cut out of the match. I knew I saw that right. Lost footage. There's some lost footage from this match. Probably a bunch of matches. Is Snuka hulking up? Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, how many other Saturday Night's Main Event matches have I watched that had edits in them and I didn't catch them until now? Oh, big clothesline. The straight edge savior, The Undertaker. You guys are having way too much fun with giving Undertaker stupid nicknames that don't fit. Oh, Savage is hung upside down. Oh, that's a DQ. Sherry frees him. The loaded purse. The dreaded loaded purse. Oh! Shot to the back. Roll up by Savage. 1, 2, 3. Savage wins it. Road Warrior Undertaker. The Beast Incarnate Undertaker. Okay, I didn't mention this when we started watching. What a shocking upset. Yeah, Savage beating Snuka. Wouldn't have seen that coming. Up, we're getting the flying elbow. Whoa! Oh, he missed! Oh, Snuka's going to go after Sherry. Or no, he's back on Savage. Body slam on Savage. Was Undertaker ever on Saturday Night's Main Event? Yes, he was. We'll get there in 92, but yes, he was. That was his only match, I believe, the one in 92. Jumps over Sherry, knocks over Savage. This was a little uncomfortable seeing what Snuka has over his name. Yeah. We know what he does to women, or we know what he's accused of doing to women. The world's strongest sexy boy, The Undertaker. What about Ric Flair? Ric Flair was in the same match with Undertaker from 1992. But again, we'll get there when we get there. I'm surprised Snuka didn't murder her. Jesus. I think he was going to eat her. Now, I didn't mention this when I started the stream, but this show is going to build significantly into Survivor Series. Survivor Series 89. Last episode was about building into SummerSlam. This one's going to be focused on building into Survivor Series. We're getting replays of Zeus beating up Hogan. Yep. And now this is the last episode. That great moment where Zeus no-sold everything. And it was awesome. Oh, we're seeing footage of SummerSlam. Allegedly, yes. Allegedly murdered that girl.
We've just seen footage of Zeus in action, and I must say, Ted DiBiase, that you've got some kind of insurance policy in this man.
That's right, Jesse, because the $1 Million Champion knows how to use his money. Anybody can get a lot of money, but only the smart ones spend it. I buy only the best, the purest gold, the clearest diamonds, and Zeus. And with Zeus in my corner, I'll win this $1 million match with Hulk Hogan. And finally, the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt will be mine. Money will talk.
Could you imagine if DiBiase won this match and he would have the WWF title belt, the Winged Eagle belt, and the $1 Million Championship belt? It'd be amazing. That visual, like in my mind, is like the coolest thing ever.
To get that belt from Hogan, and I have the resources to get the job done. More than that, I'll not say. Zeus, let's go.
Can't believe I found your stream a few weeks ago. I love this stream. Thank you. Zeus was roiding up. I don't know if that's true. I really don't know if he was roiding up.
Back to you, Jack.
All right, we are back, and we are anxiously awaiting the presence of the Hulkster as we take a look at this. This human wrecking machine. Zeus, following behind of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, who's laughing now, but he may not be laughing after the matchup is over.
What's the coolest thing ever? Sorry, my stream was acting up. DiBiase having both the Winged Eagle WWF title belt and the $1 Million Championship belt. I would have killed to have that image. Honky Tonk Man said that Snuka didn't murder that poor woman. I mean, if you can't trust Honky Tonk Man, I mean. But is it Carlito cool? I'd say cooler than Carlito. Now, Carlito, there's a guy I look back on with regret. I'm like, oh God, he got over. There was potential there, and then they just flushed him down the drain.
Thank God, Mean Gene. That first encounter with Zeus was nothing but a cheap shot, nothing but a warning, brother. It was like going down on your Harley Davidson, brother, sliding underneath an 18-wheeler and coming out without a mark, a scratch, or a blemish on your body, brother. Zeus, when you had control, you should have taken the job and finished it, brother. But the mistake you made was letting me and all my Hulkamaniacs know where you were coming from, man.
Of course, that attack was followed closely by another in Worcester, Massachusetts, when we saw the full measure of Zeus.
He got over, but he should have gone under Stephanie McMahon. No comment there.
Clearly impervious to pain.
Worcester, Massachusetts.
Which was worse, the fumble of Carlito or MVP? I would say Carlito. I thought Carlito made a bigger. He seemed to click quicker. MVP, I never saw what the big deal was with him.
All my Hulkamaniacs and me knew, Mean Gene, what we were in for. And Zeus, you should have never let us know what your battle plan was.
And finally at SummerSlam, Zeus proved that he was the human wrecking machine indeed with that spine-crushing bear hug. Tonight, you meet the $1 Million Man with...
Yeah, our MVP I never saw. He was an internet favorite for a while, and I never saw what the big deal was with him.
The Hulkamania system of checks and balances, brother. Just check me out, Hulkamaniacs. Not only will I balance out, I'll carry the load all the way to the bank, and we'll cash in. Multi-million-dollar man.
Why does he keep calling him the multi-million-dollar man?
In the multi-million-dollar belt We saw you paying wrestlers off one after another. But now, Zeus has got to be your biggest investment and your greatest find, man. The thing is, to be the player of this game, brother, you got to be a majority stockholder, no matter how you...
Remember that promo Flair cut on Carlito on Raw about passion? Was that his Bleeding Virgins promo? Was that one?
You got to beat me, brother, but you can't do it.
What went right? The $1 Million Man. Lots of things. What went wrong? Mr. Kennedy. Lots of things.
Of all those little Hulkamaniacs, and with the big bank teller in the sky on our side, me, Gene, not only will I bankroll the multi-million-dollar man and turn his pockets inside out, if Zeus gets in my face, me and all my Hulkamaniacs are going to wipe him out too, me, Gene.
Okay, I'll be right back. Give me 10 seconds.
The largest arms in the world run wild on you.
All right, the battle lines are clearly drawn. Tonight it's going to be Hulk Hogan meeting the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Zeus, the human wrecking machine, in his corner. I don't know what I think, but I know what I hope. Vince, back to you.
We certainly know our hopes and aspirations of the $1 Million Man.
The $1 Million Match. They're calling it the $1 Million Match.
It's going to be a great match. I bet you said, McMahon, you got the technology and the wrestling ability of the $1 Million Man. Plus, he's got that.
That was 16 seconds. Oh, well. I was working on King Kong Bundy and S.G. Jones time. I'm a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. What went wrong? Hogan and TNA. Lots of things. What went wrong? Bray Wyatt. Lots of things.
Zeus has been a thorn in Hulk Hogan's side ever since the building of No Holds Barred.
Well, the thing that Hogan's going to have to do, McMahon, he's going to have to concentrate.
All right, here we go. What went wrong? Christian in 2005. They wouldn't let him go over anybody, and they didn't do Christian versus Cena. That's really what went wrong. Here we go. Hogan and DiBiase. Is there a match more 80s than this? At least as far as WWF is concerned. Maybe Hogan Savage, but Zeus getting involved early.
Did you expect anything less, McMahon?
How fun was Molly back in the day? I thought Molly Holly was pretty cute. I hated that her gimmick was like, oh, they made fun of her for having a big fat ass. And I was like, I think her back door looks fine, but okay. Shoulder block, Hogan, off the ropes. Shoulder block. Zeus trips him. That should be a DQ, ref.
He saw it. They both had each other, so there was no way to determine who made first contact, McMahon.
A very good call, Jesse. I'll give you that one. Oh, big shot by Hogan. DiBiase goes down. I love Mighty Molly and the Hurricane as a kid. They were fun for a while. Ric Flair, The Rock, LOD, Hollywood Hogan, and Sting cut the best promos. I was a Jake Roberts guy. I always liked Jake Roberts. When he's sober. Worst ref calls in the NFL. Oh, Jesus. I could sit here all day. I would be here for way too long going over, like, the worst calls in NFL history. No Holds Barred was a great movie, said no one ever. It is great at being terrible, and I appreciate it for that. Up here's Jake Roberts. Yeah, this is where it plays into Survivor Series. Hulkamaniacs versus the $1 Million Team. The replacement ref calls with the Packers. Yeah, I remember that game. That was, yeah. Are any of Hogan's movies any good? Rocky III. Here's Hogan. Hogan with a roll-up. 1, 2, no! DiBiase kicked out. How do you think Jake Roberts would have done in the Attitude Era? I think he would have done great, except his personal demons would have probably cost him eventually. Very much like Road Dogg, where Road Dogg got over and was doing great, but he just couldn't get his drug problem under control. Oh, yeah, that Cowboys-Lions game, that is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. It wasn't so much because pass interference. Oh, Virgil took the snake. So now Jake's gone. Oh, DiBiase clotheslines Hogan. Could you make a whole series on the worst NFL ref calls? If I were going to do it, it would be one video. I wouldn't do a whole series on it. What did you think of Too Cool? They were fine for what they were. They weren't one of my favorites, but they were fine. How would Dean Ambrose fit into the Attitude Era? Don't know. I don't know enough about Moxley outside of what I've seen him as Dean Ambrose to really get a feel for how he would have done there. Lions. Yeah, a lot of Lions games had bad calls in them. Okay, DiBiase's beating down Hogan. Suplex time. Yep. Worst calls in Super Bowls. I can't think of any bad calls in Super Bowls that made. I'll tell you one. Super Bowl 43. Last play from Kurt Warner. They ruled that a fumble. Oh, DiBiase with the double axe handle. Anyway, they ruled that a fumble at the end. And pretty much gave the game to the Steelers. And I was like, I think that was a forward pass. That was an incomplete pass, and they should have had another chance to throw another play. Would it have mattered? I don't know. But I think the refs got the call wrong there. Yeah, the Lions, just a snake bit team. It just seems like everything just goes bad. Do you have a favorite non-Giant Super Bowl? Was Hogan going to fight out of this chin lock? Favorite non-Giant Super Bowl? Probably. I really liked Rams and Titans in 2000. I thought that was a great game with the tackle. Okay, before Manning to Tyree, my favorite play in Super Bowl history was the tackle from that game. All of Super Bowl 50 was bad call after bad call. I don't remember any bad calls in that one. Hulk Hogan versus Billy Graham. Book it, Vince. The NYG, they can get back to the Super Bowl. Not anytime soon. I don't think. What's the tackle? The Rams literally won the Super Bowl on a last-minute a last-second tackle, and the defender got the tackle, and I forget their names. Sorry, forgive me. But the defender got the tackle, and the guy who was playing for the Titans reached out, and he was 1 yard short of missing the end zone, which would have tied the game and sent it into overtime. So the Rams literally won the Super Bowl by a yard. Kick out. Hogan's hulking up. Oh, God, yes, Super Bowl 40. Yes, you're right. You're right. There were a lot of bad calls in that game. You're absolutely right. I forgot about that game. That was like every call went against the Seahawks. Every fucking call. It was terrible. Do you remember watching Reigns in the NFL? No, I don't. I don't remember watching him in the NFL. I don't remember him doing anything significant. Big boot. Ted goes down. Oh, now we're getting that DQ. Oh, he ducks and DiBiase hits Zeus. Nope. Small package by Hogan. 1, 2, 3. Did Hogan just win with an inside cradle? Who says Hogan doesn't have more extensive moves? No, I don't have anything against the Steelers. I didn't like a lot of the calls in that game. All right, Hogan and Zeus. How many Hogan matches ended with a roll-up? Not many. Not many. Oh, sneak attack by DiBiase. Oh, he just wrenched Hogan's neck. DiBiase's mad. $1 million dream. Should have did that during the match, buddy. Do you like college football? I can watch it. I don't follow it very closely. Do you remember watching Goldberg or Steve Mongo McMichael in the NFL? Goldberg, no. Mongo, yes. I do remember seeing him. And here comes Jake Roberts. He's got the snake back. Oh, not even Zeus likes snakes. Zeus versus Andre. Oh, that match would have been terrible, but yeah, this is when they were doing the Rick Rude Piper feud. Rude Awakening. Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen it, I did my top 10 Roddy Piper matches, my top 10 favorite Roddy Piper matches, and on that list was a steel cage match from Madison Square Garden between Rick Rude and Hot Rod. By the way, what's your favorite Zeus match? Actually, my favorite Zeus match is probably the SummerSlam main event. SummerSlam 89 main event.
We're here tonight to enjoy ourselves and have
I like that match. It's bananas and completely bonkers, but I enjoyed it.
Are you ready to have some fun and work over that dumb?
Say you were a wrestler getting into WWE today. What would your catchphrase be? I'm not that creative. I don't know if I could come up with one. What's your favorite Great Khali match? He had a match with Shawn Michaels on Raw that was pretty good. Granted, he's working with Shawn Michaels, but, you know. He also, believe it or not, he had a match with Triple H at SummerSlam, I think it was. That was way better than it had any right to be. It was one of the few times I felt like Triple H legitimately carried somebody to a solid match.
Tonight you're going to have to deal with the likes of the Bobby Heenan family.
It was Adam's family. You know where I come from.
What did that mean, Piper?
They got too many family members. You get them fixed. Of course, they gain weight, and you say, "Well, what would you do with Boomsy then?" Well, that's okay, because people be chasing them for ivory. He'll be out of my life. Of course, there's Sneezy. I got a rep. Haku. God bless you. No, that's your liver lips. You're talking liver lips. No, over here.
Jesus Christ.
A guy like that. Don't hit him in the head. because you ain't gonna do no destruction there, baby. I don't know if you've ever caught me, but I'll be after you.
Zeus could have been a goat heel if he'd stayed longer. If he'd gotten into wrestling first before acting, he probably could have been something. But as is, because he was an actor thrust into the wrestling world, I think he went about as far as he was ever going to go. When has Triple H ever carried someone to a good match? Well, Khali, apparently. I actually thought Khali and Cena in the Last Man Standing at Judgment Day 2007 wasn't that bad. I don't think I ever saw that match. Movie fan. Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, I think we're about halfway through Saturday night's main event. Yeah, a little over halfway. I would love to see Piper manage Ronda. It would be nice if he was around to kind of give her, like, the stamp of approval. When did Taker stop being green? Probably around 92, 93 was where he became more reliable to kind of handle situations on his own. Yeah, guys, this is favorite non-Mania Taker match. The Hell in a Cell with Shawn. That's on the short list of one of my personal, like, if I had to pick a favorite match of all time, that first Hell in a Cell is up there. Like, it's one of those contenders for my favorite match ever. But yeah, guys, this is Hot Rod's return to Saturday night's main event. For those of you who were around during the earlier streams I was doing, Piper was like one of the main fixtures of Saturday night's main event in its earlier years, from 85, 86, and up until WrestleMania 3, but he's been gone for a while. Now we got him back. God damn, look at all these shots. Damn! Spinning back fist by Piper. Look at that. Just beat the shit out of Haku, which would never happen in real life. Oh, God! A Thez press! What went right? Roddy Piper. The personality and his commitment to his character. That's what went right there. Too bad Piper was never a world champion. Yeah, that's a guy that, especially in 84, 85, when he was the top heel, that would have been the time to do it. And now Piper's chasing Heenan. Look at Heenan jumping around all over the place. Oh, there's Haku with a clothesline. So I'm watching Primetime, and when Piper and Heenan are feuding and throwing jabs, I'm rooting for Heenan. Well, I mean, Heenan is kind of the man, but when would have been a perfect time to put the title on Owen Hart? I just said like 94, 95 while he was still feuding with Brett. Back elbow by Haku. What's Haku gonna do? Ooh, shoulder breaker. Big leg drop by Haku. Uh-oh, is Haku gonna, is he gonna fly? What went right? Owen Hart before Montreal. The Bret Hart feud. That got his career on track. Big splash, but he misses. Piper rolls out of the way. Haku versus Suzuki, yeah. Oh, God, now Piper's going to town. What's the special twist coming for the next What Went Wrong? You'll see it when it gets posted this week. I don't want to spoil it. Oh! Just dropped him on his face. Who would win a real fight, Haku or Lesnar? If the stories are to be believed, and Piper just won it. And now he's going to start running through the Heenan family. This leads into Survivor Series where Piper would be going up against Rick Rude's team. Not necessarily members of the Heenan family, but... yeah, Rick Rude was the guy he was feuding with. Wrestlers I miss the most, Hawk, Kerry Von Erich, and Ivan Koloff. Uh-oh. I am a little surprised they didn't do Piper versus Andre. Just for the sake of doing it, because they were such big names. I'm not saying the match would be that great, but... Are you going to watch Lesnar's fight against DC next year? Probably not, but maybe.
Because of me, because you stuck your nose in my business. I'm not the World Wrestling Federation champion right now because of you. Now you've stuck your nose in my business one more time. Anybody that crosses my path has to pay the price. You paid it once, and apparently I didn't get the job done. This time, I guarantee you I will.
Very upset.
Hogan, come Thanksgiving. You won't have nothing to be thankful for.
Let's go back to you.
Zeus is looking forward to the Survivor Series.
You got to respect the guy who beats his chest like that. Okay, up next, we've got a battle of former tag team partners, Tito Santana and Rick Martel, the former members of Strike Force. This would also build into Survivor Series because they were on opposing teams in '89.
All right, thank you, Vince. With me right now, former member of the Strike Force tag team, he is Rick Martel, along with his manager, the Doctor of Style, the Slickster. Gentlemen, this dispute with Tito Santana, will it ever be over?
Never. I was a Strike Force. I carried that refried bean brain. Everybody knows it but Santana. But after tonight...
Do you think Hogan versus Zeus was supposed to be the main event of WrestleMania 6? Yeah, I've heard that. Thankfully, they didn't go that route.
Just a minute. Don't you go there, Mean G. Plant no Caesar doubt in my man's mind. Because believe me, we've got the ways, we've got the means, and we got the manpower.
You mean Rick?
What I mean will be seen. Let's go home.
Slick is so great. I love Slick.
Slickster has in mind, I don't know, but it can't bode well for Tito Santana.
What would have gone wrong? Hogan versus Zeus at Mania 6. I mean, I can't imagine that match going more than like 8 minutes.
Well, you know, Rick Martel's career is just skyrocketed since he aligned.
Oh, the song's playing. I met this lady and I've told her quite a story. Says I love her forevermore. But the trouble is I tell the same old story to every girl that walks through the door. This is the Slickster talking at you, honey. Yeah! Well, at first they love me, and then they don't. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they won't. I love this song. I love this theme song so much. You're a job so bro, and you're always lying to your friends. You're a job so bro, and you never get nothing in the end.
Martel's surprise includes the Twin Towers, Jimmy Hart, the Honky Tonk Man. You gotta be surprised.
Me and Gene, I'm never surprised.
They could have made the build for a Hogan Zeus match. Just have Zeus murder Beefcake a la No Holds Barred.
Well, speaking of that,
Akeem is ridiculous. Yes, he is.
Martel and all his henchmen all around you.
I mean, Gene, actions speak louder than words. Just watch.
All right, Vince, this conflict seems to be getting more bitter by the moment. Where does it end? Only time will tell. Back to you.
Well, indeed. Now, Tito Santana, you wonder what he has up his sleeve, Jesse.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Right now, he's just going to worry about one Rick Martel.
Yes, he's coming to the ring all by himself. What a gallant effort on the part of Santana to face Rick Martel. Knowing that Martel has
What is the best entrance theme? Demolition's theme. That's my favorite. I'm sticking to it. When did Tito Santana become El Matador? 1991. Like latter half of 91. Did you know if you rearrange the letters in Stephanie McMahon, you get the Macho Man penis? I did not know that. I was not aware of that. I'm not going to check to see if that's true too, because I like the joke. Oh, and here comes the Red Rooster. God, that hair. Oh, Beefcake.
This is shaping up to be something very, very interesting here. What is this going to end up? A lumberjack match of some sort?
Box of gimmicks. Yep. Oh, here comes Dusty. Is Tito Santana still alive? Yes, he is. I don't know what he's up to today. I remember hearing he was a teacher, but that was a while ago, so I don't know what he's doing now. Polka dotted Dusty. Hey, he's a man. Okay. Here we go. Martel versus Santana with their Survivor Series teams in their respective corners.
Traditionally, this would have been a great scientific matchup, but these two guys hate each other, so science will be thrown out the door. It could end up Pier 6 brawl.
Here we go. Oh, atomic drop on Rick Martel. Yes. The LOD versus Demolition feud was a big disappointment. Yes, it was. He's the commissioner of the MFL, the Mexican Football League. Are you joking or is that true? Is there a Mexican Football League? I legitimately don't know. You'd think this would be at SummerSlam or Mania. Yeah, I don't wonder why it didn't happen at SummerSlam 89. I think, weren't they? Let me check something real quick. I seem to remember. Okay, yeah, they were on opposing teams at SummerSlam. It was the Fabulous Rougeaus and Rick Martel versus the Rockers and Tito Santana. Oh, sunset flip by Tito. Arm drag. How many arm drags have we seen today? Yeah, the box of gimmicks. It's a thing. It's totally a thing.
You know, I've never seen Chico more vicious in his entire career. I can't believe the jealousy he must have for Rick Martel. The jealousy. The American dream, look it up.
Yeah, Martel looks like he's in trouble. Drop down. Santana. Oh, leapfrog. Oh, crossbody by Santana. No!
Chico almost got the big win right there. Ricky Martel again backing off to his corner. Catches Chico at the
oh! Right into the corner.
Where you're going to see desperation moves from desperate men, McMahon, and both these guys are desperate. I've never seen such hatred.
Okay, the MFL was a comment made by Ventura or Heenan on commentary once. Yeah, that sounds like a joke they would make. Would you take a slam on attacks for $500? No way. No, I would not. Ooh. Oh, he's hanging Santana in the trio. Whoa.
And you can see Ricky Martel showing his dominance right here, showing that he was indeed.
Yeah, Rick Martel was great in the model gimmick. Oh, Santana caught him in the face. Oh, there we go. Back body drop. He's going to go for the flying forearm. Flying forearm. He got it. 1, 2. Oh, Slick got up on the corner, on the apron. Oh, shit's ready to explode. Hebner's got to get control of this. The Mexican connection, that's kind of funny, actually. How would a review of WrestleMania 21 have gone if you did that video immediately after the show? I would have been mostly positive. I think that is a really good show. I would have been like, the major downer that I would have ranted about would have been the Cena JBL match, was sucked. And the Sumo match was bad, and the Diva match was bad, but it was like, they weren't long enough to really dwell on for me to be like, do giant. I would have just, like the Sumo match, I'm like, yeah, this was stupid. Okay, moving on. The one I would have really ranted about would have been Cena and JBL, because that was a huge misstep. But then I would have been like, Shawn and Angle was great. Taker and Orton was great. The Money in the Bank was great. Eddie and Ray was solid, you know. Batista and Triple H was okay, like inoffensive. Oh, Martel, he's back in control. Elbow drop. Yeah, real good insult there, Vince. WrestleMania 21 is the pay-per-view that got me back into wrestling after Rock left. We all know that WrestleMania 12 is the best Mania. Have a debate, guys. What's the best WrestleMania? Tito's fight back. Backslide. Who's going to get the backslide? Who's going to get it? And I think Tito's got it. Yes. 1, 2, no. What about the Unholy SmackDown trilogy in 2004? I would have been amazingly negative. I would have I would have praised the Eddie JBL matches because I really like those matches. And then everything else I probably would have shat on, like mercilessly. Oh, Boston Crab. Here we go. And he's got it. He's got it. No, but Tito's in the ropes. What's Tito doing? Climbing up the... Oh, 1, 2. Oh! That was a unique counter. WrestleMania 20 happened one day after my birthday. Yeah, it's nice to have WrestleMania as a birthday present, right? WrestleMania 20 happened on my birthday. I know I've mentioned that before, but I'd love to hear in 2004 you after the main event to the Great American Bash. Oh, I would have been like, what the fuck was that nonsense? Martel goes up, but Tito shakes the ropes. Down he goes. Oh. This is a really good match. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Oh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One. Martel's getting his ass kicked. Into the corner. Oh, big shot by Tito. Also, a live experience review of 2005 SummerSlam would have been cool. Yeah. Oh. Jimmy Hart is an underrated talker. Yeah, I like Jimmy. Oh, boo. Dusty goes in. Boss man. Okay, we got a DQ here. Big Survivor Series brawl. Got Honky Tonk Man and the Red Rooster paired off, which that's a unique pairing. We got the two fat guys, the two comedy gimmicks, the two former partners, and then Akeem and Beefcake because they don't match up with anybody else. Since 9/11, football has been fixed. I can't prove that, but I had my suspicions. What are your top 5 favorite managers? I would say Bobby, Heyman, Cornette, Slick, and who would be number 5? I'm tempted to say Sherry. How dare you say that about the mighty Red Rooster? Remember when polka dots were a thing? I do. But you know what? People talk about like the... Yeah, so Tito wins by DQ, but... I think that might be the only time Tito ever beat Rick Martel. Another Piper promo. This is gold.
You wanted to have fun with the whole Heenan family, remember? The whole Heenan family just, did you have fun out there, Haku? Did you have fun out there?
Heyman is an advocate, damn it. Fair enough. But Paulie Dangerously was a manager. And he was a great manager.
Rick Rude, were you watching? Of course, you threw 320 pounds of mean last thing at me. Figuring, oh, he's slowed down. He's got old. Oh, boy, am I got old. Oh, boy, am I slowing down. You know, you got to have pieces of the Bobby Heenan family for life in general. You know why? Because the buzzers.
Okay, now we're ending. Okay, guys, we're ending with a real main event here, guys. The Fabulous Rougeau brothers versus the Bushwhackers. A match that I think I saw 9 million times as a child. This was probably the first series of matches that I got sick of seeing. They're all American boys. Yeah, the Rougeau brothers, I didn't get their gimmick. It's like they moved to America, but they're not sincere about being American, so fuck them. And I'm like, I don't really care.
Tonight, gentlemen, you're going to be facing one of the premier teams in the Fabulous Rougeaus. What about it, Luke?
That's right, Mean Gene. We're going to do what we do to all our opponents. Choose them up and split them out. Oh, yeah, Mean Gene. We're going to take care of those Rougeau sisters once and bloody for all. The manager sticks his nose in. We're going to take them out. Also, let's go, Cousin Luke.
I can't believe it.
I like the Sheep Herders better, but that's just me.
The Bushwhackers beating the Rougeaus. It's back to you. I can't believe it.
Oh my goodness.
When's your SS prediction vid? That'll be happening next week. What went right, Mean Gene? Mean Gene's awesome. That's what went right. They are the marching morons. Now, you got to give Vince credit here. He brings in the Sheep Herders, who are these rough, tough, nasty heels, and great at that. And he thinks, hey, I can make you guys into a babyface team that gets over. And to his credit, he fucking did it. Like, who looks at the Sheep Herders and goes, oh, yeah, those guys will work as babyfaces? Can you please do a SummerSlam review like you did last year where you just read the results? Maybe. I might watch SummerSlam. I don't know yet. We'll find out.
What kind of sportsmanship was that? But why would I expect sportsmanship out of the Bushwhackers?
There's no telling what to expect out of this Bushwhackers. Shark and Raymond on the outside.
And look, now they got poor Jimmy Hart cornered.
They're going to beat up Jimmy.
Jimmy Hart running.
Oh, they got his jacket. Please don't take his pants.
Should be hurt. Trying to stay at bay. And it looks like they're in cornered. No, he can't get through.
You know, I'm getting tired of this abuse to managers. There's no call for this kind of stuff.
Chuck trying to grab his manager and pulling up. Oh, look at it. Seesaw battle.
And yet Vince can't get Roman over no matter how many attacks. Well, yeah, it's weird. Let's hear you say, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. They took his pants off. Right after I said, please don't take his pants off, they took his pants off. Don't lose the boxers. For the love of God, please don't lose the boxers.
Finally, shot Rougeau covered from the camera.
Jimmy Hart running for cover. I've never seen Furby in underwear before.
And you can bet the Rougeaus are going to make the Bushwhackers pay for an embarrassment like that to their manager.
That's Butch coming up.
Oh, big clothesline by the Rougeaus.
And a beautiful double team clothesline.
Oh, look, over the corner, a moment ago. Surprise. By Raymond, look at this.
Oh.
Devastating maneuver by the Rougeaus.
Yeah, these two teams, they worked at WrestleMania 5. They worked at Royal Rumble 90. And there's a Saturday night's main event match, and I know that they had other matches too. Paul Ellering, yeah, I forgot about Paul Ellering. He was fantastic. Fantastic manager. How many times did this match happen? There's the 3 that I know of, and I know there was more. Oh, missed the knee lift. Thoughts on the Rock Mankind This Is Your Life segment? I thought it was funny. I love that segment. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was instrumental in furthering establishing the friendship between Rock and Mankind. Oh, look at Jacques flip out of that. Big clothesline. Up. This is the elbow drop. Meeting of the minds. Battering ram. One of the stupidest tag team finishers ever, the battering ram. Double stomach breaker. That's actually a little better. Thoughts on Mankind versus Loose Cannon Brian Pillman would be cool. Yeah, it would have been. What's your shirt say? It says Deloitte. I used to work for them. I don't work for them anymore. It says Deloitte, though. That's what it says. Thoughts on the Velveteen Dream EC3 segment from NXT this week? It was okay. It wasn't as funny as I was hoping it would be. So the Bushwhackers win.
Saturday night's big event and with the World Wrestling.
We're closing out with a Hogan promo.
Hogan, as we can clearly see tonight, victory again for you, but quite expensive after that move that Zeus put on you and your neck.
The multi-million-dollar man, Mean Gene, is a human wrecking machine. It's got to be stopped, brother. There's no telling how far the multi-million-dollar man's money will take him. The human wrecking machine, impervious to pain. He fears no man. My God, Mean Gene, when he got my head and when he started twisting it, I heard the snap, crackle, and pop, brother. Thank God for the maniacs. Thank God for living by the 3 commandments.
Will your Kaiju movie reviews be weekly or monthly? They will be monthly. Starting in September. Scout's Honor, I promise.
With Jake Roberts, Damien, and the Demolition will survive, brother. The Hulkamaniacs will wipe you out. And Thanksgiving night, we're going to do them in, Mean Gene.
All right, I thank you, Hulk Hogan. Stay tuned. Still more of Saturday night's main event to come.
It's funny that they're building to Survivor Series, and it's still like, it's mid-October. Like, this show took place on October 14th, and they're building to Thanksgiving night, which nowadays you just kind of feel like, you know, they don't even talk about the next pay-per-view until they've wrapped up the first one, you know? But there were no pay-per-views in October back then, so, you know, things were just better. If you could bring anyone to Lucha, who would it be? Bray Wyatt. He would be marvelous over there. Unless Godzilla 2 gets delayed again. Yeah, right. I don't think they're going to delay it this time. I can imagine Matt Hardy saying Deloitte, Deloitte, Deloitte. Yeah, they should hire him as a PR guy. All right, so that concludes Saturday night's main event number 23. Really good show. Once again, 89 continues its strong run of shows. Some solid build-up to Survivor Series. A really good match between Hogan and DiBiase, and a really good match between Martel and Santana, with a couple of spotlight matches for Piper and Savage, the big stars. So overall, pretty good show. Both Clash and Saturday night's main event were really good this week. But, whoa, why'd it go to the next one? Stop. We'll see you next week, Ultimate Warrior, I promise. But yeah, thank you guys for joining the stream. Hope you all had fun watching this. Another fun one this week. So hopefully next week's shows will continue more the same, and we get some really solid shows out of the Clash and Saturday night's main event. But that is all I have for you now. You all enjoy what's left of your weekend, and I'll see you next week.